Today marks an important day in the life of many Nigerians and also in the life of a great media outfit. Today will be the first for many days to come, and also it's more of a celebration for a great king that is also being loved by his people. So today, the 18th day of August 2025 is indeed a great day. With that, I want to welcome you to the very maiden edition of Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. My name is Michael Gobatia. Just like my introduction, I would need to emphasize that many Nigerians today will be added to the voters registration data, as it will commence the voters registration exercise for many Nigerians that have attained the age of 18, as they try to also push in on their franchise to be a part of the electoral process. And that's a major one that will definitely happen. And just like I said, a whole lot of celebration also is coming on board, and one you will love to be a part of.
Talking about celebration, Michael, I am super excited. You can see from my face that I am super excited. Of course, today we are having 2-in-1 celebration.
Most certainly.
And that is the first edition of Viewpoint. And I am excited about it because Viewpoint promises to be fun and educative. So why not? Why should I not be excited? And today is the day one of the coronation anniversary of His Majesty, the 4th coronation anniversary of His Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, CFR, the Olu of Warri. So we will be streaming live on Atlantic TV. So if you're not following our social media platforms, please endeavor to do so, because on Facebook and on YouTube, we will be streaming live on Atlantic Media and TV, and also on AVO TV. So you can get that on any of your app store. You can get the AVO TV, and you have no excuse not to be part of this celebration. I am Mercy Irabo, and this is me saying happy celebration.
Well, I know you could really understand the joy she feels, and like she said, is indeed a first in many. Like I said, it's a first Viewpoint on this great station, Atlantic Media TV. And not just only that, just like she also emphasized, the 4th coronation anniversary of our great king that is so loved by his subject and one that many truly, really adore. But that is also right. I tend to really inform you on what Viewpoint is. Viewpoint is a program that will be running for 3 hours every lovely morning. They will always emphasize that how well your morning will be majorly would determine how your day will go. So it's always important that we bring something really entertaining, educative, and indeed quite instructive. And that's what Viewpoint is all about. Well, a quick rundown of what Viewpoint will carry. Well, we always enjoy starting with the day's newspapers. We're going straight to the dailies. That will kickstart. And after that, we'll go to dialogue. And on dialogue today, just like my introduction, we'll be talking about the continuous voters registration exercise that is starting off today, cut across the country. And definitely, we'll be looking at that as we have a guest that is a major critical stakeholder that will come and explain what that process will be and why we need to get it right and see how we can also forge ahead as a great country. Well, that will be on dialogue, which will always be a regular, and around 10 o'clock, well, day's news will definitely come as we give you insight into the latest happening in the country, well, and also on international scene. Well, sports will be after that, but do be rest assured that trending will definitely come.
Of course. The internet is always buzzing with different stories now and then, and I am here to give you, as hot as they come, I'm here to give you all the juicy gist. So you don't want to miss out on any part of this, you don't want to miss a glimpse of this. So I promise you it will be fun, super fun.
Well, anyway, talking about fun, I can't wait myself to see what trending will carry. But what I'll plead with you is for you to hold on. Let's go on a break. And like I said initially, the dailies will come next, right here on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV.
In the glorious land of Warri Kingdom, history meets heritage and tradition embraces transformation. Join us in celebrating the 4th coronation anniversary of His Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, CFR, the Olu of Warri, from Monday 18th of August to Sunday 24th of August 2025. Day 1 kicks off with praise and worship at the Palace Church, Agofen, Warri by 12 noon. Day 2 features hospital commissioning at Ubangwe, Warri, 10 a.m. Ishekiri language competition for children at Agofen, Warri, 12 noon. Women's football match, 4 p.m. All-Stars football match at the Palace Field, 4:30 p.m. Day 3, a royal boat ride to Ode Ishekiri, 10 a.m. Homage paying at Big Warri Palace, 12 noon. His Majesty departs Big Warri, 3 p.m. Day 4, the anniversary celebration and homage paying at Agofen, Warri by 11 a.m. Day 5 brings book launch, 10:30 a.m. More homage paying at Agofen, 11:30 a.m. Drama presentations at Agofen, Warri, 4:30 p.m. Day 6 features the Royal Order of Iwere Awards, 10 a.m. Special lecture at Agofen, 11 a.m. Youth activities, 12:30 p.m. Royal Choir performance, 5 p.m. Day 7, the celebration concludes with a heartfelt Thanksgiving service at 10 a.m. at the Palace Church, Agofen, Warri. Join us as we honor 4 impactful years of visionary leadership. Brought to you by Uge Oyo Ekoro TV.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor AD.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Welcome back, welcome back. If you are just joining us, welcome to Dailies on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. And let's check out 4 headlines making it to the front page on the dailies today. So we will be starting with, sorry for this dailies, we have 5 papers that will be making it today. And we'll be starting with the Punch. We also have the Guardian, Vanguard, This Day newspaper, and the Nation. So for a start, let's do the Punch. Mr.
Well, anyway,
Michael.
talking about the Punch, and like she said, it's a major paper will be starting first week. And on the Punch this morning, the leading story reads, federal government backtracks as NLC holds ground. And well, a rider to that is NSITF moves to a VAT strike, says AGF, that's Attorney General of the Federation, will refund our workers as NLC leaders meet. We're still talking about workers' compensation. But anyway, you can compensate yourself with that story on page 27 of the Punch newspaper. But let's quickly go to the top masthead of the Punch newspaper and see if we can get some major headlines. And APC opposition clash over by-election results in 12 states. And kickers to that is Tinubu Hills winners, INEC as PDP, NNPP, ADC reject result, threatening lawsuit. But suit yourself up with that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Shipping crisis delays Dangote 3,550 CNG trucks, which is a major story on page 28 also of the Punch. Court orders full disclosure of that 7 billion naira renovation by the National Assembly. And you can also get that on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Let's quickly go to the bottom part of the paper and see if we can get some other major headlines. Nigerian deports 42 convicted Chinese, Filipinos on cybercrime. And is no crime. You can read that story up on our page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. ICRC issues new PPP guideline for MDAs. And you can read that story up on page 25 as 2 Nigerians die of suspected poisoning. Indeed, a very sad one in Libya. And honestly, you can just read that very sad story on page 4 and 5 of the Punch. NCPC resumes Israel pilgrimage with a 50% subsidy. Subsidize that story on page 16 of the Punch. And the picture of the day is more of the deported Chinese and Filipinos on the issue of cybercrime. Well, that's the much you can take on the Punch newspaper.
All right, on the Guardian newspaper, making it to the top story, over 10 banks, insurance risks forced merger in race for new capital. You can read that in page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And to the top mass, we have Alausa. We're bringing Nigerians out of school kids back to the classroom. Still on the top mass, Serap 6 probe of pay to present motions bills claim. You can read that in page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And to the bottom mass, by elections, opposition's fragility exposed as APC tightens hold with 12 of 16 seats. You can read that in page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And still at the bottom mass, Afe Babalola canvasses better education sector to check insecurity. You can read that in page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. EFCC NIS deport 42 cyber criminals, 150 to follow. You can read that in page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. And for the photo of the day, roads to 2026 recapitalization. You can see that on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And that's all we have to take on the Guardian today. Up next is This Day newspaper.
Well, anyway, this day, like we said, is also a major one we'll be taking a look at today on the dailies. And the leading story on
To tackle menace of out-of-school kids begins. 42 Chinese Filipinos convicted of cybercrimes deported. You can read that in page 6 and page 4 of the Nation newspaper. And to the bottom mass, retired federal workers to earn additional 32,000 naira monthly. And you can read that on page 34 of the Nation newspaper. And the photo of the day still talks about the Zenith Bank marks 35th anniversary. And you can read that story on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. And that's all we'll be taking on the Nation newspaper. So up next is Vanguard newspaper.
Well, anyway, Vanguard seems to be wrapping it up on the dailies today. And no surprise, seems to have also a major. And on the Vanguard newspaper, the leading story reads, how APC swept by-elections. And like I said, in 12 states. And I remember we'll be looking also on that on Dialogue. So you just keep yourself glued to this lovely station and you'll be getting a run-up of what really transpired. But anyway, kick us to that is wins 12 seats, ABGAP 2, PDP 1, NMPP 1. Tinubu indeed seems to be hailing the winners as opposition parties kick. And while many are not really happy, and others will say it's a dress rehearsal for the 2027 polls. And this is according to the ADC. But anyway, that's the much we can take, but I'll just implore you to go to page 5 of the Vanguard, and you'll be getting all that stories right there. 40 missing, 10 rescued in Sokoto boat mishap, a sad tale. But that sad story, well, just get page 6 of the Vanguard, and you'll be getting all that story. Zenith Bank marks 35th anniversary, celebrates pioneer customers and long-serving staff is on page 12 of the Vanguard. As federal government, Jonathan Attorney General of the Federation celebrates IBB at 84, and page 13 has that story on the Vanguard. Insurance industry comes under pressure from rising cost claims. It's a major one on the financial part of the Vanguard. Page 21 has that story. Rice farmers blame price hike on cartel and middlemen. Well, I know, seems to be in the middle part of the Vanguard, and that's page 8. And you can get all of that story on the Vanguard. Let's go to the bottom mass of the Vanguard and see if we have any other story to take as we really wrap this up on the dailies. Yes, we do. And then now fund loans will pay fees students are charged. Aluasa. Well, anyway, page 8 seems to have that story. Zelensky rejects territorial concession as Putin offers security guarantee. Well, I can guarantee you, you can go to page 13 and you get more of that story. NLC strike notice, NSITF admits 50% deduction. Well, anyway, deduction. Well, anyway, nobody's deducting my pay, but I'll just tell you to get more of that story on page 9. Well, and Mr. and Mrs. are also making a return, and I'll just implore you, I don't want to laugh this morning, but anyway, it's a celebration mood. But just read up. But that of the picture of the day is different. As Jonathan visits IBB on his 84th birthday. And well, anyway, the Maradona, the genius has not changed. But anyway, we're still celebrating him all the same. But anyway, that's the much we can take from the Vanguard and also on the dailies.
So talking about the by-elections, it's been reoccurring on the dailies. So I feel we should really talk about that because one would think personally, based on the anger of concerning the hardship, the economic hardship and all of that, the insecurities, one would think the ruling party would not even have a chance in the by-elections. But look at it. They got 12 out of 16 seats. Like, that's a whole lot. What do you think?
Well, indeed it's a whole lot, but I would also want to really agree that when it comes to politics, politics is undermining is part of leadership, is part of what the citizens feel. But when it comes to politicians doing what they know best, I feel they will always want to have a way to win elections. And that's no surprise the ruling party seems to be edging on that. But anyway, I know the knocks that will follow on account of this victory of the ruling party, the APC. And I know a whole lot of Nigerians, especially the ADC, is feeling it's more like truncating democracy in itself. And a run-up to the 2027 general elections, are they happy about it? Well, only time will tell. But I need to say, many Nigerians will be looking up to the electoral body, and I'm talking about INEC, to do the needful, especially as we prepare for the general elections. But anyway, like we will always say, if they are not satisfied, the APC will tell them to go to court. But anyway, we're not going to court, but because we're still right here in the studios. And another major story that seems to also catch my fancy is the issue of the deportation of major foreigners away from the shores of this land. And is one that's raising a whole lot of concern because many Nigerians will say when it comes to cyber crime, Nigerians are always in the
Always
leading
on
role.
the top list.
Yeah.
I was expecting that, and I was surprised to see that we are even complaining of other countries. Like, that's terrible, though.
Well, terrible it is, but anyway, it's still staring us in the face, and the truth be told, that, well, it's quite disheartening that we're having foreigners come to the shores of this great country and also perpetrate evil and in every way label us with a very bad name. It's a sad reality, but one that's also there. But anyway, still talking about the sad reality, I want us to go to the issue of Afe Babalola, and he feels education in every way, and that's a major story also on the front page, and I feel the Guardian has that story.
Yeah, it has the story too.
Of talking about the issue of correlating education and insecurity. He feels if Nigerians are better educated, insecurity will be thing of the past.
Yeah, it will curb insecurity. And he also made mention of that little education is even worse because people might want to misuse the little knowledge they have, like putting it into crimes and all of that. Talking about cyber security and the rest, I don't think an illiterate would do that. So somebody with little education would want to do that. So I think that is what he is trying to buttress. So that's it.
But anyway, I just feel we are Nigerians, and education is also a critical one, and it helps to indeed not just only educate the mind, but gives you a better landing as you try to also forge ahead as a person. So education is critical in the growth of any nation, and well, we need to do more and get more as Nigerians. But also, as talking about getting more, I'm really also excited, or rather interested, in a major story that's also making the round, and that's the celebration of the 84th birthday of our former military ruler. We're talking about Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. Well, it looks as if his Mina residence, as of yesterday, was a beehive of activities with former leaders visiting the retired general in celebration of his 84th birthday. But the question still remains, after many years out of office, he's still being so relevant in the political scene. And many Nigerians are wondering why.
Yeah, and respected. So happy birthday to IBB. We are saying happy birthday to you from this side. Atlantic is wishing you happy birthday. You're respected. We can see that Nigerians loved you. We love you too.
Well, talking about love, that's also major one here. Remember, like we're saying, on the mind is the dailies. Remember also a great celebration is happening right here in Delta State, and a great king that is being loved by his people. And I will give you really up to date as it comes, because we're having a correspondent right there at the palace. And anytime we get latest happenings there, be rest assured that I'll be bringing it to you right here on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. But anyway, like we said, that's the dailies, and well, we've had 5 papers for review, just like you said. We had the Vanguard, the Punch, the Guardian, This Day, and the Nation. All of them took major face on the very first edition of the dailies on Viewpoint. But anyway, as much as we're viewing that, we'll just plead with you also. So let's go on a break. And remember, our dialogue will come next. And on dialogue, the by-elections, we'll be looking at that also as a major one on our dialogue. And we'll be having a guest, a critical stakeholders that was part of the last 2023 general election, and also serve as an advisory body to the electoral body to see what needs to be done as we kickstart the electoral process. And we're talking about the registration of intending voters as they attain that age of 18 and others that will come. But anyway, like I said, let's quickly go on a break. And up next will be dialogue right here on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV.
Ara lóríire ọlọ́ríire ọ̀fọ̀ máa sí olúromi o ọ̀wẹ́ náà ògì.
Mommy Dama, Daddy Daba. This is how we greet in our place. It is a way of respect, a long-age tradition, carried through generations like sacred fire. Our coronation celebration is around the corner, so close. We can feel the drum beats in the wind, and there is no more time to keep checking time. So the sons and daughters of Iwere, both at home and in diaspora, comfort, put on the full regalia, adore yourself in pride, and walk in the step of our ancestors. Let us observe a longish culture together, so deep, so bright, that even whites could not help but reverence. And Edidioka, then Barajo, do not say we did not know, we did not hear, neither were we informed. Put aside the grieving, because no matter what, we are same. Same history, same tongues, that cannot be taken away, except that dual's path. Ishekiri and Kuro, our monarch awaits us.
In the glorious land of Ori Kingdom, history meets heritage and tradition embraces transformation. Join us in celebrating the 4th coronation anniversary of His Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, CFR, the Olu of Warri, from Monday 18th of August to Sunday 24th of August 2025. Day 1 kicks off with praise and worship at the Palace Church, Agofen Warri by 12 noon. Day 2 features hospital commissioning at Ubangwe Warri 10 a.m. Ishekiri language competition for children at Agofen Warri 12 noon. Women's football match 4 p.m. All-Stars football match at the Palace Field 4:30 p.m. Day 3, a royal boat ride to Ode Ishekiri 10 a.m. Homage paying at Big Warri Palace 12 noon. His Majesty departs Big Warri 3 p.m. Day 4, the anniversary celebration and homage paying at Agofen Warri by 11 a.m. Day 5 brings book launch 10:30 a.m. More homage paying at Agofen 11:30 a.m. Drama presentations at Agofen Warri 4:30 p.m. Day 6 features the Royal Order of Iwere Awards 10 a.m. Special lecture at Agofen 11 a.m. Youth activities 12:30 p.m. Royal Choir performance 5 p.m. Day 7, the celebration concludes with a heartfelt Thanksgiving service at 10 a.m. at the Palace Church, Agofen Warri. Join us as we honor 4 impactful years of visionary leadership. Brought to you by Uge Oyo Ekoro TV.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
For God sought man to incarnate and to lead his people. And he found none but thee, the one who understands the assignment. To the extent the dexterity you deploy to administer the territory attracted principalities and powers, yet you warned by Isaiah 7:7. The traditional king that forfeit godly scriptures. Your ways are not the ways of man, even as you exist as man. The one who takes giant steps in David's raiment. You are the clear proof we had first-hand connection with civilization. Daddy with maximum steez and composure. We do not need to pat your back and scoop your tummy before you do us good. Because truly you have now made goodness our inheritance. And everybody give thanks. You may have been ignored, left alone to tend the flocks. But I tell you truth, it was God's strategy for you to cater for his flocks. Oh, how did we not know at first that the change will seek and desire lurks around us like a friend that sticks closer than a brother. He who resonates history before our face, giving us the hope of a prosperous phase. It is time. 4 years crowned in glory, 4 years seed in destiny. Ogiame, King of the waters. It is your 4th-year coronation anniversary, and everybody is Ogboru.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
The Independent National Electoral Commission kickstarts the continuous voters registration exercise nationwide in the country today, the 18th day of August 2025. The continuous voters registration exercise is meant for the registration of citizens who turned 18 years of age after the last registration exercise, or those who for one reason or another could not register in the previous exercise. The process also accommodates a request for transfer of registration, replacement of lost or damaged permanent voters card, and correction of personal information such as names and date of birth. Now, the process is regarded as the beginning in a long line of activities in the build-up to the general elections in 2027, and thus holds a pre-voter role in credibility and success of the electoral body in the conduct of the general election. But the question still remains, how would Nigerians partake in this process, or also how would they perceive this process, especially coming from an electoral body that is already taking a lot of knocks as it concerns the just concluded by-election in 12 states during the weekend? And should the CVR exercise be the main thing to do, or rather a reform of the whole electoral process should come first before we talk of any other? Well, these and more as it concerns the commencement of the CVR exercise and Nigerians' expectation from the electoral body and the electoral process itself as we build up to the general election is what this edition or maiden edition of Dialogue is all about. And that is the commencement of the CVR exercise and Nigerians' expectation from the electoral body. And like I said, that's what we'll be having as a major one on the Dialogue today. Like I said, it's a maiden edition of the Dialogue right here on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. Like I said, that's what we'll be having as a major discourse today. We're looking at that process that is starting today, and we're talking about the continuous voters registration exercise that will be cut across all parts of the country. But what are Nigerians' expectations, and how will Nigerians also participate in this is what this maiden edition of Dialogue is all about. But anyway, like we also would let you know, on Dialogue, we don't just talk alone. We always have a guest, could be 1, 2, or 3, joining us anywhere in the world. And funny enough, we have a guest already in the studio with us. And he's no other person, but I rather call him a comrade in all respect. And I'm talking about Comrade Edewo Egedegbe. He's indeed the director, executive director of the Value Rebirth Center right here in Delta State. And not just only that, but also he's the steering, the coordinator of the steering committee that deals with more of electoral process and a critical stakeholder as it concerns advising the electoral body. I really would want to welcome him, Comrade Dewo Egedigbe. Thank you so much for joining us on this maiden edition of our dialogue on Atlantic TV.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. Good morning, viewers out there.
Well, anyway, I really want us to just dive straight into it. We do know that the 2010 electoral law, as amended, gives the electoral body every right to conduct this very exercise. And it also gives them a 60-day window to also inform political parties on the outcome of this very process. I'm talking about the continuous voters registration exercise. But as much as we'll be looking at that, many Nigerians are of the view that more needs to be done first before this very exercise. They feel a better reform has to come in place first, knowing that just during the weekend, we saw the by-election in 12 states, and already the electoral body is already taking a whole lot of knocks on account of that. So my question, I want us to deal with this issue of this school of thought of persons. I feel, let's deal first with reforms of our electoral process before we start this process of the continuous voters registration exercise. So I want us to, in every way, not silence the voice of these doubters, but I want us to also look at the pulse of these persons. And I really want to get your reaction. Do you feel that call, that school of thought of, let's deal with reforms first before this whole process of continuous voter registration exercise should come? So I want your reaction on that. What's your take on that?
Okay, thank you for having me. First, my reaction would be that both can work together.
Okay.
There's no point saying we need to wait for reform to take place before you now exercise them. No. Now, it should be made clear that the 2022 Electoral Act, as amended, made it very clear for the processes of, continuous voters register, as it should be. Once you clock the age of 18, in line with the Constitution of Nigeria as amended, 1999 Constitution as amended, that become an exercise that should happen. Then, of course, strategically thinking, in INEC's view, they believe that at a point like this, beginning from today, it is 60 days after, the continuous register should happen. For those that have attained the age of 18, of course, between when it was last, updated and now, they have the opportunity to register because it's a constitutional, opportunity for every citizen. Then not just that, for those who have maybe concern in their names or correcting their name or loss of their voter's card previously, they have opportunity of also, addressing that challenge ahead of the next election. So it's supposed to be a work in progress. So it's no point saying we should wait for reforms first before, that process starts. No. Now, having said that, but it's important to also now express at this point that, yes, we celebrated the coming into force of the amended 2022 Electoral Act that, came with some fine reforms. For us in the civil society, we thumbed up for those huge reforms, when the 2022 Electoral Act was signed into law. But, 2023 came and that law was tested for the first time, and there was so much hue and cry that has, arose from the implementation of that Electoral Act. Okay. Now, the question I am personally concerned with, and I believe many Nigerians share the same view, is that between 2023 and date, not much has been done in terms of, addressing those outcomes as a result of trying the 2022 Electoral Act, as in practice. Okay. Not much has happened. Okay. The 10th National Assembly are just, playing games with Nigerians in terms of, addressing those, feedback that came from 2023 general election in implementing the Electoral Act 2022. So that's why many Nigerians are a bit circumspect when they hear INEC come to say things. Of course, you are not strange to the conversation where glitches were all over the place. Yeah. From every election cycle to another, there is one use of word. The last one was glitches, technical glitches. So what has happened to addressing those glitches between that time and now? Not much has been told us by INEC, with due respect to them. So Nigerians are in a hurry to see the day-to-day improvement on the process.
Okay, I will plead with you. I'll plead with you, Comrade Dewo, to hold on there. We'll come to all of that later. But I want us to still remain with the issue of the continuous voters registration exercise. Let's deal with that first. Now, just like you said, in the 2022 edition of this very process, we had a whole lot of issues as it concerns this registration. We do know it was at some local government councils and some designated places that this exercise took place. But Nigerians also complained about the sharp practices, especially when it comes to huge crowds during that very process. And you do know some persons even ended up getting more than one voters registration cards, and which is also more like almost double voting, which is under section 122 of the 2022 Electoral Act as amended. So my question, as an observer, you notice the hiccup, the hitches we had in the 2022 process to the build-up of the 2023 elections. How can we deal with the issues of sharp practices being made by these persons that are saddled with the responsibility of registering Nigerians to also participate in their franchise? So how do we deal with that process or that problem that we had in the 2022 process, the build-up of 2023 elections?
Thank you. Very good question. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, wrongdoing is becoming a norm. Unfortunately so. Wow. It's becoming a norm that when people do wrong things, the best they will tell you, say, go to court. Because they already know what will be the outcome in the court. Okay. Maybe they've compromised the courts in their own thinking, and so they can afford to do anything and tell you to go to the court or do anything that you think you can do. Yeah. Unfortunately so. But I think that Nigeria is more than that. Okay. And citizens must also rise up at a point like this. Now, I've always said in every forum I am privileged to express myself, I've said, when we lament and complain without taking the rightful steps, we will be worse off. Okay. We'll be worse off. So Nigerians should engage the system, which is why some of us, anytime we have the privilege of engaging the system, we don't hold back anything. Which is those people who are saddled with responsibility of serving Nigeria in the capacity of INEC, the ad hoc staff or whatever, who should be properly trained on what they are going to the field to go and exercise. Once there is culpability, they should be shown the other way out. But that doesn't happen so much in Nigeria. Now you ask yourself, between 2023 and now, the infractions that were occasioned by the electoral malpractices and all of it, yes. How many people have been shown the other way in serving as a punitive measure to serve as a deterrent now to other persons who may want to go that way? Not much of that is hard. They may want to tell you, once you say it like this now, they will come with reactionary tendencies to begin to say, oh, those things. Do I need to now prompt you before you give me an information that will serve my interests as a Nigerian? The answer is no. So I am saying here this morning that, look, Nigerians occupying public office should know that they owe this country a duty to serve her well, to serve her with integrity, with purpose, and of course the dream of our forefathers that founded this country. But the era of when you now get into an office, you see it as a larger than life style, and you want to now begin to do what you think that you like to do. I've always said, when you do what you like, you see what you don't like. But do what is right, then the outcome will be acceptable by all. What is right, not what you like. Because most time what we like is usually, against the wish of the people. So I am saying that a change, a paradigm change is expected. So the CVR has started today. Yes. There is no enough publicity. For instance, in the village I come from, there is no access road to the place. There is no electricity. So how will the people in the village know that the CVRO is continuing today? And what is the process of the CVRO? How long is it going to take? From which time to which time? Where will be the designated center? The people then are cut off. They are not in the picture. Then at the end of 60 days, INEC will come and begin to bundle figure at us. Oh, we've done this, we've done that. How well have you done it? It's not enough to do a thing. How well did you do that thing that you've done? In the interest of the people, in the interest of the state. Not in your interest or the interest of your employer. No, the overall interest of the state is primary.
Okay, well, anyway, it's still primary, and the major one we're having right here on the maiden edition of Dialogue on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV, and we're looking at the commencement of the continuous voters registration exercise that kickstarts today cut across the country as a build-up to the 2027 general elections. How really ready are Nigerians, and will that process be seamless, or are we going to get more reaction as it concerns that process as we did in 2022 when that process was concluded? Build up to the 2023 general elections. All of that is still what's taking center stage on this media edition of Dialogue on our Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. But it's also right, I emphasize here, that we reach out to the independent body, and we're talking about the state rec of the Independent National Electoral Commission, and he gave us that promise that when it's time for him to talk, he will definitely reach out back to us on Atlantic TV and give us his reaction as it concerns this process and every other question that will definitely arise on account of our discussion today. So be rest assured, when he reaches out to us, we'll be bringing him live right here on this great media outlet for you to hear firsthand on what the independent body needs or has to do to ensure that we have a seamless process. We're still talking about the process itself. I'll need to come to you. And in your own honest assessment, Mr. Comrade Dewo Egedebe, in the last general exercise in 2022, we had about 10 million Nigerians added to that process, which is about 11.26% higher than the 84 million Nigerians that were registered that were registered to participate in the 2019 general election. So my question is simple. Looking at all you've said, looking at many who say the wishes of Nigerians being put aside, and nobody seems to have been held on account of what they've done or did during that process. My question, do you see many Nigerians turning up to participate in this continuous voters registration exercise? It's a question. Are we going to see that large number of 10 million that we saw during the 2022 exercise and build up to the 2023 election? Or do you feel Nigerians numbers would be a far cry from what the number needs to be?
In my estimation, it's going to be a far cry, because the motivation is not there. The one Nigerian turnout in over 10 million that were added to the swoop the last time, what became of it? What became of it at the elections? So that's, is another way of making Nigerians not to be enthusiastic about the process. That's what we're saying. But in spite of what has happened, my appeal to Nigeria is that, look, it is your civic responsibility. Okay. It is your civic responsibility.
Which you need to participate
which you need to take advantage of.
Okay.
Don't say, because when you don't participate in the electioneering process, those who I consider as idiots will take over the system. Because when there is a challenge and there are no right mind to engage, those people who perpetrated the challenge will have a field day. So I'm calling on Nigerians, in spite of INEC misgivings, it is your civic rights and responsibility. I tell people, right comes with responsibility.
Most certainly.
Right comes with responsibility. But in the Nigerian parlance, what many people talk about is the right. What is responsibility? It's your responsibility to vote and be voted for. And in your voting, that's where you exercise your franchise to say, this is the person I want to come represent me for the next few years. So when you do that, and I do my own, there will be tension in the camp of those people who want to manipulate the system, because they will suddenly know that there is a change of mindset in the average Nigerian mind. It's ready to determine who comes.
Okay.
But when you sit aloof, now like the Bible says, it said the devil sowed tares when men slept. So when you sleep over your rights, somebody will trample on it. Then you can't react. No, we need to be proactive. So Nigerians should come out, in spite of the gimmicks of INEC. I encourage Nigerians, even in the locals. For me, of course, as my organization, civic engagement is one of our focus. Yes. We'll be going everywhere, telling our people, the audience that will have that, look, the process has begun. Just one day off to respond to Nigeria. by doing your civic right will not be too much for you. It may not even take you a day.
Comrade, I could still remember during the 2023 general elections, many Nigerians turned out.
Sure.
And that was the first time we had great number of young Nigerians participating in the process. Now, coming to tell them now to still participate, and you talked about the shortcomings of the electoral body, the electoral umpire. Would that be right? Because that's why I asked you initially. Will reforms not help Nigerians prepare for this process? Will reforms not help put Nigerian minds at rest? That yes, if they take that step in doing what you say is their civic responsibility, at the end it will count. So my question, what needs to be done? You've mentioned a great deal that many, the umpire itself has to do enough as in going out to advertise, or rather to inform Nigerians or sensitize Nigerians on this process. But how do you feel Nigerians will feel that they did a whole lot in a build up to the 2020 elections and they got little or nothing? So would that process not be better to start first before talking about the CV out? So it brings me back to my initial question. When I asked you, would reforms not be in place rather than doing this and Nigerians not participating at the end of it?
You see, I go back to what I said earlier. Now, there is no point tying it that this has to happen for this to happen, which is why I said both can happen, together, simultaneously. Now, I understand, I'm aware clearly, that the Electoral Act is being looked into by the National Assembly, the 10th National Assembly. Though they are sleeping over it anyway. They
started just last month.
Yeah, they are sleeping over it in my estimation, but they've started something there. Now, because of the time management of the process, so the CVRO need to continue, then there's going to be a feedback, a report of the exercise for INEC to do a cleanup before the final register that will be set down to use to conduct the 2027 election. So it's time bound. So waiting for the reform to happen, we may not even have the time to do this one. So which is why working simultaneously is critical for all stakeholders that are necessary in this pivot. Which is also why, as a citizen of this country, it's your right and responsibility to ensure that you register. Not just registering, engage in any process that will advance the cause of democracy. That is the way it works. We are quick to, make reference to America, the working democracies of this world. We are not also quick to, come along with the processes they went through to arriving at those processes. Nigerians want it free. They want it now. Things don't work that way. There is what to do part-time, and there's a follow-up, and there's a follow-through. All of these processes must go through. As a trained strategist, one, INEC is not doing enough, in my own estimation.
In sensitization and...
Apart from sensitization, the way they even organize their processes, it leaves much to be desired, in my estimation. And what I found out most time with INEC is the fact that once Nigerians are beginning to speak truth to power, speaking to the reality of what Nigerians sees, not what they come to tell us on TV, on radio, or wherever they want to try to express themselves, they react. For crying out loud, it is my duty to be properly governed by the government of my country. It's a constitutional duty. So it's my responsibility to come back to government to say, look, you are not governing me well. It is my right. And it is my responsibility to follow law and order. It's my responsibility. So INEC should not, add to the woes of Nigerians today. That, bad leadership has occasioned on us. We should be able to strive to come out of this level of, deprivation, misgovernance, amenities not being brought, to the germane Nigerians who deserve much. Don't forget, from survey, Nigeria have 44 minerals that are domiciled in this soil of this country, that just one mineral alone, properly given attention, we make the most of Nigeria as an egalitarian state. But we have the plethora of them, but because governance and leadership is failing us at every level, at the national level, at the subnational level, and even at the local level and at the community level, everywhere, we have people who are in leadership position who see themselves as larger than life. They don't want to engage the people. They don't want objectivity. They want subjectivity. All of that has to give way for an egalitarian state where the rights and privileges of citizens are well respected.
Well, anyway, talking about respect, I'll plead with you to hold on. And, well, I just need to really emphasize this, especially as you are listening or really watch us wherever you are. It's a Viewpoint, and the program you're listening or rather watching is a dialogue on this great station, and we're talking about Atlantic TV. And, well, that's what we're having as a major one today on the show. And like I said, a maiden edition of Dialogue. We're looking at the commencement of the continuous voters registration exercise to the build-up of the 2027 general elections. And how really Nigerians, or rather, how would Nigerians really participate in this process, especially looking at what transpired in 2022, and are Nigerians really excited or happy that these would commence, is a major question, and one that is taking center stage on the show today. Like I said, we still have no other person. In case you join us, you've missed a great deal. We have no other person, the executive director of Value Rebate right here in Delta State, and also a critical stakeholder as it concerns advising the electoral body. And we're talking about the Independent National Electoral Commission. But anyway, as much as we talk about that, Comrade Adewa Egedegbe, just during the weekend, we saw elections being conducted in 12 states. By elections, 16 seats were being looked at. And at the end of it, we learned that the ruling party, the APC, swept about 12 of such seats. And while some NNPP took one, PDP seemed to have a bit of the highest after the APC. And AD, well, anyway, coming at the bottom. And anyway, more of a new political party. So we understand. But all of that, the Independent Natural Electoral Commission is already having a lot of knocks. Let's look at that process itself. Because many Nigerians will say, we're just still putting old wine into a new bottle. And I want us to look at the issue of the man at the helm of affair. Now, many Nigerians, immediately after the 2023 general elections, kicked against that move that the president should nominate the chairman of the electoral body. And because of that, it arose that many Nigerians are calling for a separate person, maybe the judiciary, maybe a separate body to indeed nominate who will be at the helm of affair in the electoral umpire. So I want your view on that, as we also would look at these just concluded by elections, and why many Nigerians, especially political parties, are already crying wolf. So let's look at it. Do you subscribe that for us to have a credible elections, we need to get not the president choosing who will run the affairs of the electoral body, just like some other countries? What's your take on that?
Yes, I subscribe to that school of thought. The president should not be the one to choose INEC umpire, in any case, in my estimation. And not also the judiciary, as some other people are saying, because I do not also have that confidence in the today's judiciary, with due respect to them, today's judiciary that we have. Yeah. Integrity questions everywhere around them. So until they are able to, purge themselves of those,
or clean house,
or clean themselves of those allegations here and there, one would not even want to ascribe. Some said, oh, the NJC. The NJC have not been able to deal with those, the barrage of cases of corrupt tendencies by judges and even legal practitioners that is before them. So there's no point giving them the task of selecting somebody that can best handle the INEC. But in my view, to get a Nigerian that can do a human job in INEC is not difficult. It's not difficult. There are cerebral Nigerians everywhere. Everywhere. What is the issue is the government of the day part-time will not want that to happen. Will not want that to happen.
And what's your assertion on that?
So, for instance, put a call for application. Put a call for application for people to subscribe for the post of the INEC chairman.
Yes.
Then, of course, commissioners, federal commissioners, and even state regs. Put call for application like it's done in the private sector. The best gets the job. The best gets the job. Now, in the screening committee, you can make it, the composition can be, okay, yes, some seasoned retired judges that,
Or exemplary.
In their conduct, we know them. Then, of course, from the public service, generally, you bring people from the civil society, you bring people from the religious society to be part of that screening committee, to screen those who would have passed. Of course, the screening will be in batches, in levels. Okay, screening the qualification of the persons. Then, of course, going through to getting the security screening of the person. Has he gotten his hand soiled one time, all of that? Do all of those screening and come out, reduce the toll to, a comprehensible number, then subject them to written and oral interviews. Then after that, the best emerge. So that is devoid of influence of Mr. President, devoid of National Assembly people who will come and say bow and go. Rather, not the public opinion. It is on credibility, on capacity that the person will not emerge, just as is done in the private sector. And even some public sector, some of those agencies that do something that look like it. So that for me is the process. That for me is the process. Now, we understand that towards the end of this year, the tenure of the current INEC chairman
will definitely
expire. So by now, the process for call for application for a possible replacement should have begun. Not Mr. President looking for one of his old hand, then you dust him up and you throw it, and of course he goes to the National Assembly, they will say because it's coming for president, bow and go. All of that should stop. We should stop it. And Nigeria should be able to speak against it. This, suffering and smiling that we do is not the best for us. It's not the best for us. Go to Rwanda, a war-torn country, some years back ago. Go to Rwanda today. When you see governance in Rwanda, you marvel. Is it rocket science? It's a shared determination.
Are you saying it's because they got it right in the electoral process? Because we do know Paul Kagame of Uganda has been in charge of that very country for decades now.
Yes.
And we also do know that even the electoral process there has been declared to be faulty. But anyway, let's leave Rwanda and return back to Nigeria. Because I'm also a bit curious to ask. Yes, you just spilled out what you feel is the right way to choose who should be the umpire, who should head the electoral body. But my also question is, let's talk on the issue of also the reforms. We know during the 2022 electoral reforms, we had great ideas being brought up by the electoral umpire itself. When we talked about the beavers and all of that and how well it played out, especially as it concerns the election. But my question now, we do know that, like you said, the National Assembly has started hearings as it concerns the reform of the electoral body and other reforms of the Nigerian Constitution 99 as amended. So my question now is, what do you feel needs to be reformed in the electoral body, apart from who chooses the head of the electoral body? What again should come as a means of reforming that body to create more credibility of the process of our elections?
Thank you. This is one very beautiful question I would like to respond to. First, the first reform I think should happen in the ongoing process is the fact that on election day, first, the 5 category of offices that will be contested should be done in one day. Reform number 1.
Okay, we should have all our elections
one day election.
Okay.
One, that will help to reduce waste by deploying people on 2 occasions. 2 after the first election, then 2 weeks after, you bring in the same set of people to do another thing. That can be done in one day. Don't forget, the first election is for, 3 categories of persons. The president, then of course, the Senate and the House of Reps. 3 in one day. Then the next one will be governor and House of Assembly. So I'm saying that add the governor and the House of Assembly to the president, the Senate, and the House of Reps. One day, print 5 papers one day and bring it. So once I come out to exercise my franchise as my civic responsibility, I come, vote for who I want to be my president. I come, vote for who I want to be my senator, my House of Rep representative, the governor in my state, and of course, the State House of Assembly. One day, my once coming will afford me that opportunity.
Okay.
Reform number 1.
Yeah.
Then reform number 2. The result of election should be announced at the polling unit, transmitted to the IRF portal from there. No collation at ward level. At best, collation at local government level. The collation must be in line with what has been sent to IRF portal. So there is no word collation. That should be eliminated in the amendment, in my view. The collation at the local government level is a cumulation of all of the polling units that have already sent their result, declared announced result to the IRF portal. So IRF portal must tally with what the local government collation is giving. So it is from there you translate to the state for announcement. By this, the manipulation, the manipulation takes place at the collation centers. That is where you see that, wait, no, that unit has not come in. You need to wait for that unit to come in. You need to wait. And INEC, returning officer will be receiving calls from, from very terrible characters who want to subvert the will of the people. So when you say, what are my reforms? They are just very simple.
Comrade, are you still talking about the INEC portal that had a whole lot of glitches during the last elections? Are we still going to use that? Is it not time we also jettison that? Because if you could still remember during the general elections, that was where we had glitches. Many persons says the network was not working, especially the electoral umpire said we had glitches to that system, and we also almost had people hacking into that system. So should we still go through that process of using that very portal in dealing with our elections?
Yes, because, after the presidential election, the glitches, don't forget, were more occasion with the presidential election.
But we had glitches.
No, I'm coming. The glitches were more with the president's election. And they were less even with the House of Assembly, House of Reps and the Senate. Then 2 weeks after, during the governorship and the State House of Assembly, the glitches were no longer there.
So is it that we got a better network service that dealt with it, or what?
Of course, the system, of course, is alleged here and there that people hacked into the server, it was compromised, all of that. But when the hue and cry became very high between when presidential election took place and governorship, there were some makeshift adjustment which made the outcome of the governorship and the State House of Assembly a lot better. Yeah. So, and between that time and now, INEC should have been able to, to work on those glitches to give us a fairer deal in 2027. So, having addressed that, which is a responsibility of INEC and the government of today, if they really mean well for this country in any case, but the day-to-day thing that should be done, that we translate to the IRF portal, is that one election be done that same day for the 5 offices to be contested. Yes. Then 2, the election result should be announced at the unit level, and the result announced should be sent from directly the unit to the IRF portal. And I'm saying that there should be a clear abrogation of collation at ward level, or call them rack centers. All of that should be out of the way. The Electoral Act 2022 that is being amended now should eliminate those areas that can give room to subversion of the will of the people.
Now, talking about room and giving way for a new mode of things, is Nigeria not ripe enough for electronic voting? Because we do know, with the comfort of their homes, in a more developed clime, people sit there and go ahead with elections. So is it not time that we also go through that process to deal with the issues of all of those glitches, all of those problems that seem to arise on account of persons saddled with the responsibility of doing the needful but subverting the whole process? So my question still remains, is Nigeria not also ripe enough for electoral or electronic voting as itself?
We are not ripe. Let's not deceive ourselves. We are getting in the process of being ripe. We are not ripe. Now, what I was saying is, between 2022, 2023 election, and 2027 is 4 years. Yes. So strategically speaking, what are those processes that Nigeria have put in place that will make it look as if, yes, we are getting closer. That's a responsibility on the side of our legislators who were elected to make laws that will better the lives of Nigerians. But is that seen in the 10th Assembly today? If you ask me, in my opinion, in fairness to them, it's a no-no. Because what you see there is globetrotting. You know, globetrotting.
So
and
are you saying the process that brought them in was faulty, and that's why we see persons not accountable to the people? Is that what you are saying?
You can say that a million times now, and they know. That is why they are not in a hurry to, you know, to fine-tune the process. Because once the process is fine-tuned, I can tell you for free, with due respect to them over there, more than 80% of the people there will not find their way there. You know, and they know. Which is why my advocacy and sensitization is to Nigerians, not to them. I can tell you this on set, that politicians are the most, you know, fearful characters when it comes to elections. They don't want to face election. They don't want to face election. So it is because of our passivity and docility as citizens that they are still riding roughshod up there. The moment Nigerians begin to stand on their rights and responsibility, I tell you, some of those people you see there, you won't see them there in 2027.
Well, anyway, Comrade Dewa Gidigbe, I seem to have a different view as it concerns that, and not just merely having a view. The United States of America, in April of 2024, came out with a report to say that the 2023 general election was the will of the people. Because why I'm saying that now, the report is here, we do know the report, and they said that the outcome of the 2023 general election reflected the will of the people, emphasizing about the credibility of the process. But you just said a contrary view to that. So are you saying the United States of America was wrong in their assertion that that election was free and fair, and the credible people are those that we have it now in the National Assembly?
Well, United States of America people, were they in Nigeria when we were doing the election?
But that's the report. They were part of the vetting process that cumulated into us having these elections.
You see, in my view, my honest view usually, is that you don't expect the United States of America to say contrary. Those are diplomatic issues. They won't say contrary because a government has been, either by hook or crook, a government has been constituted. And they pretended to have gone through the process. So what else would they say?
But would a leading democracy as the United States of America, where every other democratic norm seem to structure, not find holes in the general election? Is that what you're saying?
No, you see, that general statement you made now, that is not without a knocks at some level. You know, as an observer, you know, I observe elections. I've been observing elections date back up to 2003, the date. So, you know, when we observe elections, we tease out the things that went well and the ones that didn't go well and come with our recommendations. And that's what, you know, everybody does. But it also depends on the interest the assessment is serving. And talking about America, for instance, now, they may want to give a favorable outcome based on their economic interest in Nigeria. All of those are things that we know in international politics. We've read all of this, and they are the day-to-day things that happen. What is important is Nigerians' assessment of the election, because Nigerians were the ones that went for election. What is their assessment? Now, let me ask you this question. What was Nigeria's statement to American election that was conducted last year? So where was Nigerians' assessment of the American district? So you see, I have told people, local problems require local solutions. The problem of Nigeria is Nigeria, not America, not even England. So we must look inward, and the answer is handy. But some just less than 2% of Nigerians are manipulating over 230 million Nigerians by way of subscribing to democracy that they are not practicing. In fairness to them, in fairness, in my own estimation, though we are a constitutional democracy, but the day-to-day practice speak contrary. Speak contrary. There is so much draconianism in what is happening in our day-to-day governance that the opinion of the people is never sought at any time. If it is sought, it will be sought in a make-believe way just to massage some egos and come up with something that look like, oh, we have done the process. But it's all fake. It's all fake, for crying out loud. So I'm speaking to the conscience of every Nigerian who believe in this country. For me, I believe in Nigeria. I go nowhere. We will fix it here.
Well, we're talking about fixing it and being here. We are still right here in the studios, the lovely studios of our Atlantic TV. And indeed, Viewpoint is what we're having on around this time. You do know it's dialogue, and on dialogue, we always enjoy to talk about the issues. And talking about the issue is what we're looking at today. We're talking about the commencement of the continuous voters registration exercise that kickstarts today. And we'll run through the whole month, because on the 25th, we'll be passing to person registration of that very exercise. But the question still remains on the dialogue: what needs to be done to get the credibility to our electoral process as we start this? And like I said, we still have Comrade Dewa Gedigbe, who is helping us out with this discussion on the mining. He feels a bit different from that report from the United States of America, which assessed that the 2023 general elections was just the will of the people. But anyway, let's bring ourselves back to our discussion today as we truly try to wrap things up on the show today. Well, like I said, you've given us some takes that you feel will definitely better our electoral process. And it looks as if all knocks has really been on the electoral empire and the leadership itself. But let's come now to followers. Because in that very by-elections, the report we heard that many persons were arrested on account of vote buying, which also means that if the process of vote buying is to take place, we'll have the seller and also the buyer. But my question now, let's come to the followers themselves. Don't you feel Nigerians are also culpable in this whole process? Don't you feel the followers are also a part of the problem? Because if you do not buy, if you do not sell your vote, it will never be put out in the market there. So let's look at it. What advice will you have for Nigerians that sell their vote for 10,000 naira and end up in 4 years in misery, pain, and a whole lot of problems? Let's look at the followers itself.
You know, if you recall, I've lasted on followers largely in this conversation, more than even those in authority. And I said that followers are the one giving them the room to gallivant in the way they are doing today. One, I've always have cause to talk about that Anambra woman during the Soludo first tenure election.
Yes.
That refused to sell her votes.
And was manhandled.
In spite, she voted for her choice. You know what came to her when eventually Soludo won? The woman was handsomely rewarded. Okay, they were going to give her 10,000 or 5,000 maybe. But I listened to one of those conversations where somebody, I think the government, they gave her 1 million and established her subtly for being a true Nigerian, for resisting, you know, the caprices and whims of those characters who want to subvert her constitutional right.
Yeah.
So she's a role model. Then number two, that returning officer, that professor in Abia State, that said, no, I can't do this to my country. My conscience will fail me. I can't stand it. And she stood her ground, and that was the only reason Governor Alex became governor today. Are those not Nigerians? Those are the role models that we should be talking about on set. So that somebody have not done it is because you don't know. Somebody would have done it before. We've seen people who distinguish themselves. For some of us, if you bring your money, you are wasting your time. Because our interest is not there. Our interest is in the betterment of the generality of Nigerians. So, speaking to our citizens right now, ahead of election, when you collect 5,000 to cast your vote, you have mortgaged your destiny for the 4 years, for 4,000, for 5,000. That's what it means. So the earlier they know this, the better. Then that's on the one hand. On the second hand, when you sell and you buy, you are both culpable.
Yes.
Now, you talked about a report that came that, oh, some people have been arrested for vote buying and all that.
Yes.
I am calling on the media. The media is also falling short of our expectations. The media should beam searchlight and help to shame those characters who are dragging us 10 feet backward if we make one step forward of progress. So the media should beam searchlight, and by shaming those people, then of course praising those who stand out. For instance, there should be some documentary that will be talking about those people who stood out in the midst of, you know, intimidation and you know, pressure and all of that, so that those becomes our role models to emulate. But you know, in Nigeria, we go after those you know, those breaking news, and when the news break, what happened thereafter? We don't follow through. We don't seem to see the outcome of those breaking news a day, 2, 3 days after, because you know, Nigeria is a country of news. News are always breaking from the left, on the right, from the center, at the back. So the media should help us hold these people accountable. Give, you know, civil society opportunity to shed light, because we work in the trenches. We see what happens. Politicians will come and tell you what not. We go and see it and say it the way it is. The more opportunity we get to enlighten the people, the better our society will become. So, citizens, your responsibility is clear. Chapter 2, section 14 of the Constitution, if you go take it through, it tells you how you need to support the government of the day to be much better. Not to sit down and begin to lament the election of the past. That one has passed. You can't rewind it. It is the one coming that is more important now. So can we now learn from the past and see how we can shape in our tomorrow? That's how life goes. Why do people take correction after making mistakes? It's so that that mistake will not repeat itself again. So Nigerians should wake up, come out for your civic responsibility. In case you lost your voter's card, you have opportunity of, you know, redeeming it again. Then, or maybe you have attained the voter's age between the last time and now, you are the one the voter exercise is for. And don't think that it's for a lifetime. You know, Nigerians, today is the first day now, people will not show interest today. The first 1 month, people hardly show interest, because we did a follow-up as a TM, Transition Monitoring Group coordinator in Delta State. We were everywhere with programming and all of that, you know, calling people to respond. We are coming up again with this now, and that Nigerians should seize the moment. Seize the opportunity of the moment, and don't wait. The last time there will have to be an extension, which of course affected INEC in terms of delivery on their own plan and strategy. So let's not always wait till the dying minute before we do things. Mistakes are bound when you do things in a hazy manner. So let's follow systematic approach in trying to, of course, redeem the Nigerian glory that is waning almost by every administration.
Well, anyway, that's indeed what our last take on the show is, and we're talking about Nigerians should do the needful and indeed exercise their franchise and also the electoral process. They should go out, especially those that seem not to be a part of the process. And the last time it was conducted in 2022, when we had about 10 million Nigerians added to the pool of eligible electorates, and we're talking about the 84 million Nigerians that participated in the last general elections in 2019. And well, what needs to be done, all of that is what we looked at today on Dialogue, and indeed it has been a very robust discussion. But you would know that on Atlantic TV and also on Dialogue on Viewpoint, we'll give you always the room to also participate, and subsequently we'll do that. We'll always reach out, or rather give you how much or what you need to do to reach out to us to also exercise your franchise and telling us what we need to do. And I will be giving you phone numbers as they come, or the social media handles that you also can respond and also ask questions that should be asked. But like I said, we still have him here, and he's done a great deal. We need to thank him so much. I'm talking of no other person but the Executive Director of the Value Rebate and also the State Coordinator of the Transition Monitoring Group that would play a huge part in the last general election. I'm talking of no other person but Comrade Edewo Egedebe. Thank you so much for joining us, and we appreciate your time with us.
It's always my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, anyway, before we wrap up, I also need to remind you that we also reached out to the electoral umpire. We're talking about the state resident electoral commissioner, and he said he will definitely join us if he's been given the nod in Abuja And when he does that, be rest assured that I'll be bringing it live right here for him to tell us how really prepared is the electoral umpire in conducting this continuous voter registration exercise. As some other critical questions that were raised on account of the show today, all of that will be bringing to his doorstep for him to also address and indeed give us a follow-up of what, or really how really prepared they seem to be. Well, anyway, that makes it a wrap today on the maiden edition of Dialogue. Like I said, we looked at the continuous voters registration exercise and how really prepared the electoral umpire is, as much as we're talking about the whole process itself. Where did we miss out? What did we miss out in the last general elections, and what reforms needs to follow? All of that is what we had on the show today. But anyway, it's a quick wrap, but remember around 10 o'clock, still right here on Viewpoint, the news will come. And after that, we'll be going live right there as we celebrate the kickstart of the 4th anniversary of the coronation of our great king. But anyway, let's go on a break, and you do know that the news will come next right here on Viewpoint.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Baby.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, Niger celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
As you know, you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Mommy Dama, Daddy Daba. This is how we greet in our place. It is a way of respect, a long age tradition, carried through generations like sacred fire. Our coronation celebration is around the corner, so close, we can feel the drum beats in the wind, and there is no more time to keep checking time. So the sons and daughters of Iwere, both at home and in diaspora, comfort, put on the full regalia, adore yourself in pride, and walk in the step of our ancestors. Let us observe a longish culture together, so deep, so bright, that even whitest could not help but reverence. And I did the oka. Then it barajo. Do not say we did not know, we did not hear, neither were we informed. Put aside the grieving, because no matter what, we are same. Same history, same tongues that cannot be taken away, except that dual's path. Ishekiri and Koro, our monarch awaits us.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Tikado! Tikado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Tikado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Tikado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at tikado.com.ng. Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
In the glorious land of Warri Kingdom, history meets heritage and tradition embraces transformation. Join us in celebrating the 4th coronation anniversary of His Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, CFR, the Olu of Warri, from Monday 18th of August to Sunday 24th of August 2025. Day 1 kicks off with praise and worship at the Palace Church, Agofen, Warri by 12 noon. Day 2 features hospital commissioning at Ubangwe, Warri, 10 a.m. Ishekiri language competition for children at Agofen, Warri, 12 noon. Women's football match, 4 p.m. All-Stars football match at the Palace Field, 4:30 p.m. Day 3, a royal boat ride to Ode Ishekiri, 10 a.m. Homage paying at Big Warri Palace, 12 noon. His Majesty departs Big Warri, 3 p.m. Day 4, the anniversary celebration and homage paying at Agofen, Warri by 11 a.m. Day 5 brings book launch, 10:30 a.m. More homage paying at Agofen, 11:30 a.m. Drama presentations at Agofen, Warri, 4:30 p.m. Day 6 features the Royal Order of Iwere Awards, 10 a.m. Special lecture at Agofen, 11 a.m. Youth activities, 12:30 p.m. Royal Choir performance, 5 p.m. Day 7, the celebration concludes with a heartfelt Thanksgiving service at 10 a.m. at the Palace Church, Agofen, Warri. Join us as we honor 4 impactful years of visionary leadership. Brought to you by Uge Oyo Ekoro TV.
Hi everybody and welcome to Wawu Africa. This is the official launching and it's your host QJ and we are so excited to be here, guys. This is a brand new app, girl, for women, Christocentric women.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. My expectations are through the roof. We have amazing guests here today, so stay tuned.
And we're gonna be back.
Yeah, we will be back.
that believes in the transformative power of women's economic empowerment. Our mission is simple, yet ambitious: to provide a safe, inclusive, and supportive environment, a safe, inclusive space where women can learn, earn, collaborate, and thrive, where they can showcase their skills, share their stories, and sell their products and services.
Every day, I create, but no one sees me. Until now. Introducing Wawu Africa. Learn. Showcase. Connect. Earn. Now, the world sees my worth and pays for it. Wawu Africa, where women rise.
Okay, so the inspiration behind Wawu Africa, it stems from women being dealt the lower hand, if I may put it that way. Because in corporate worlds, we see that men always get the better pay, they always get better roles, and if there is a woman in a good position, it is assumed that she did something to get that position. So we're trying to change that narrative where we are saying, look, women are not just meant for the kitchen. Women need to earn more as well. Women need to be heard. Women need to be seen for what they can do, for their skills, not just as some sexual object or some sexual toy, because that is one of the things that has been, or the major thing that has been tied to when you say I'm a woman. That is one thing that people see first. So we're trying to change that narrative. We want women to be out there doing big things just like our male counterparts are doing, and not being dependent. We're trying to change that narrative of women are always so dependent on men. We want to be independent, not like we want to just do everything on our own, but we want to be able to stand as women in our various industries, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as an artisan, a content creator, whatever it is that you are. We want women to stand out there.
I think it's a beautiful and a fantastic phenomenal initiative that I think can metamorphose into things like skill acquisition for women, safe place for women training, etiquette for women, empowering women. We call it a man's world. I call it a gentleman's world, because the gentleman puts the woman first. Yes. And so I think this is a phenomenal idea. If everyone has a sister, mother, or a daughter, one of them, sister, mother, or daughter. So it's high time we started investing in the women and make this world a better place, a safer place for them. I'm thinking of a WOW counseling, for WOW rehabilitation, for drug addiction for women. I think it's something that is really huge that will begin to make. There are too many layers on what to do to make the world safe and safer for women. And so I believe that this is the beginning of the best days of this thing we just launched today. And so hoping for more.
Why did you decide to support Wawu Africa? What does it mean to you as a woman?
It means everything. I am a woman first, and personally, I am a strong advocate for the girl child and for women affairs. So anything women, supporting them, lifting them, you'll find me there. So, but as per this, my media outfits, we are very proud to give them the visibility that they need to reach their targets and where they wish to go, and give them every other support that they need to reach the women that we hope to reach. Women need to learn. It is a basic skill that they must have. They must learn, they must earn, they must grow, and they must learn to collaborate. That's why we are here. I have met some amazing women here. She leads Africa. She's here too. So it is amazing when women support each other. We attain amazing heights. So we cannot overlook the importance of collaborating with other people, other women like us. It is very, very, very important.
Here at Wawu Africa, it's an app that supports women. So what are your views on it?
In fact, it's a great idea because it will help women to be able to showcase their businesses. They don't need to, like online businesses now, they can have a space to put in their businesses and sell their products easily now for export. My expectations are really high. I've worked with the owner, the person in charge for a while, and I know he's a very brilliant mind, and he has ideas, and this is one of them which has come to fruition. So my expectations are really high. It's a platform to help women be empowered, help women earn, help women scale up, and that aligns with the value of She Leads Africa. That's why we're here, partnering with them, encouraging them, and saying we're here, we're hailing you, we're behind you. We pray and hope that you scale, right, and achieve all your dreams.
Wawu Africa, where women rise.
Don't stop. So it has been an amazing experience, hasn't it? Oh my gosh, we have so many expectations from Wawu Africa, and it has been great vibing with you guys. It's your host QJ and Shay. Until next time, stay tuned.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined, uniquely different.
For God sought man to incarnate and to lead his people, and he found none but thee, the one who understands the assignment. To the extent the dexterity you deploy to administer the territory attracted principalities and powers, yet you warned by Isaiah 7:7. The traditional king that forfeit godly scriptures. Your ways are not the ways of man, even as we exist as man. The one who takes giant steps in David's raiment. You are the clear proof we had first-hand connection with civilization. Daddy with maximum steez and composure. We do not need to pat your back and scoop your tummy before you do us good. Because truly you have now made goodness our inheritance. And everybody give thanks. You may have been ignored, left alone to tend the flocks, but I tell you truth, it was God's strategy for you to cater for his flocks. Oh, how did we not know at first that a change will seek and desire, lurks around us like a friend that sticks closer than a brother. He who resonates history before our face, giving us the hope of a prosperous phase. It is time. 4 years crowned in glory, 4 years seed in destiny. Ogiame, King of the waters. It is your 4th year coronation anniversary, and everybody is Ogboru. Mommy Dama, Daddy Daba. This is how we greet in our place. It is a way of respect, a long-age tradition, carried through generations like sacred fire. Our coronation celebration is around the corner, so close. We can feel the drum beats in the wind, and there is no more time to keep checking time. So the sons and daughters of Iwere, both at home and in diaspora, comfort, put on the full regalia, adore yourself in pride, and walk in the step of our ancestors. Let us observe a longish culture together, so deep, so bright, that even whitest could not help but reverence. And Edidioka, then Ikbarajo, do not say we did not know, we did not hear, neither were we informed. Put aside the grieving, because no matter what, we are same. Same history, same tongues that cannot be taken away, except that towards path. Ishekiri, and Kuro. Our monarch awaits us.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife Naija Celebrity Type Man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Ìyára lóríire, olóríire àfọ̀másí, olúrọ̀mí o, ọba mi òkè. Ìyára lóríire, olóríire àfọ̀másí, olúrọ̀mí o. Ọba mi òkè, ìràwọ̀ bàbá mi jẹ́, orí gbẹ́jì wẹ̀rẹ̀, ìràwọ̀ èsì gbà mí jẹ́, orí wàrà gbòòrò.
Hello and welcome to News Rounds. I am Nkechi Tejiri. Here are our top stories. Celebration begins as Ogiami Atuache III marks 4 years on the throne. Federal government bows to NLC pressure, appoints PENCOM chairman. Tinubu hails winners of by-elections, commends INEC. Nigeria's factories go local amid currency turmoil. Trump's tariff threat strains U.S.-India ties, boosts China. Ikpegba Omolubi hail Oluwafwari's sporting spirit ahead of coronation march. Now to the news in full. The people of Ishekiri Kingdom and well-wishers from across Nigeria have converged in Warri today, the 18th of August 2025, as celebrations for the 4th coronation anniversary of His Majesty Ogiami Atuache III, CFR, the Olu of Warri, officially commences. The week-long program, themed A Glorious Tribute to Tradition, Heritage and Royal Excellence, runs from August 18th to 24th, featuring cultural, spiritual, and communal activities in honor of the revered monarch. Day 1 begins with a praise and worship service at the Palace Church Agofen, Warri, by 12 noon, setting a tone of thanksgiving and spiritual reflection for the festivities ahead. The anniversary is expected to attract dignitaries, traditional rulers, political leaders, and indigenes from across the globe. This celebration is not just about the throne, it is about the Ishekiri people, the unity, and the progress they continue to experience under Ogiame's reign. The celebrations continue all week with highlights including cultural dances, novelty marches, youth programs, and a grand Thanksgiving service to round off the events. The people are proud to celebrate His Majesty's leadership. In just 4 years, he has shown vision, preserved the culture, and prioritized the welfare of the people. The federal government has yielded to pressure from the Nigeria Labour Congress by appointing Mr. Okpeyemi Agbaje as chairman of the National Pension Commission, PENCOM. This comes after the NLC threatened to embark on a strike if the Commission's governing board was not constituted within 7 days. According to Section 19 of the PENCOM Reform Act 2014, the PENCOM board is to include a chairman, a director general, 4 full-time commissioners, and representatives of labor, pensioners, and employers. The law is clear. The governing board of PENCOM must be in place to ensure accountability and transparency in managing workers' pensions funds. Meanwhile, PENCOM's spokesman Ibrahim Buwal says there is still no official confirmation from the presidency. Mr. Agbaje, the new appointee, is the chief executive of RTC Advisory Services Limited, with decades of experience in the banking sector and public service. Government's delay in constituting the board has raised concerns about oversight of trillions of naira in pension funds. This appointment is a step towards erasing those fears. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated winners of the by-elections held on Saturday, August 16th, across 16 constituencies in 12 states of the Federation. In a statement by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the President commended the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for conducting what he described as largely hitch-free and peaceful polls. According to results declared by INEC, the All Progressives Congress, APC, won in 12 constituencies. The All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, secured 2, while the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, won 1 each. President Tinubu congratulated the new APC National Chairman, Professor Nentawe Yilwata, describing the victories as proof of effective leadership and party unity. He also saluted APC governors and party leaders for their roles in the outcome. The President further commended all parties and candidates who participated, urging them to embrace sportsmanship, fair contest, and magnanimity. Qualities, he said, are essential for sustaining Nigeria's democracy. Meanwhile, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has condemned Saturday's by-elections conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in 16 constituencies across 12 states. In a statement, the party's interim National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, alleged the exercise was marred by violence, vote buying, manipulation, and administrative lapses. The ADC insists the irregularities are a dress rehearsal for the 2027 general election and a reflection of Nigeria's deepening democratic decline under President Tinubu. Abdullahi stressed that the outcome does not reflect the strength of the opposition, but rather the corruption of the system against the will of the people. The party is calling on INEC to investigate the alleged irregularities and sanction compromised officials, while urging President Tinubu to demonstrate leadership by ensuring that Nigerians can vote freely and safely. The ADC's concerns highlight growing fears about electoral credibility and the ability of INEC to guarantee free and fair polls. You're watching News Rounds on Atlantic TV. We'll go on a short break. More news stories when we return. Welcome back. Nigeria's manufacturing sector is adapting to survive the harsh impact of naira devaluation and foreign exchange scarcity. A recent Financial Times report reveals that more companies are now turning to local raw materials as dollar shortages and forex volatility disrupt imports. Over 800 factories shut down last year because they simply couldn't cope with rising input costs and lack of access to dollars. The central bank's decision to float the naira under President Bola Tinubu's reforms has triggered sharp fluctuations, leaving manufacturers scrambling to adapt. Despite the turbulence, industry leaders say the shift to local supply chains is gradually stabilizing operations and could strengthen Nigeria's long-term industrial resilience. The Nigerian Exchange Limited, NGX, has released its weekly report showing a significant decline in trading activity. According to the report, investors traded 6.91 billion shares worth 99.93 billion naira in 180,290 deals, a 25.7% drop compared to the 134.57 billion naira recorded the previous week. The figures show weaker investor appetite this week, with total trade value falling by nearly 35 billion naira. The financial service industry led the chart, accounting for 80.75% of equity turnover volume and 56.75% of total value. It was followed by the oil and gas sector with 387.6 million shares worth 8.5 billion naira, while the agriculture industry recorded 315.5 million shares valued at 6.1 billion naira. The NGX says it will continue to monitor market movements and maintain transparency in reporting to guide investment decisions. This slowdown suggests that investors are adopting a wait-and-see approach, possibly in response to broader economic uncertainties. Still on business stories, Nigeria's insurance industry is facing tough times as rising costs of doing business and surging claims have slashed profits in the first quarter of 2025. Latest financial reports show that despite a 38% jump in revenue, profits of leading insurers dropped by 40%, compared to a massive 550% profits rise in the same period last year. Gross premium written rose to 294.5 billion naira in first quarter of 2025, but claims payments also spiked by nearly 57%, reaching 167.4 billion naira. Breakdown of individual firms show sharp increases in claims. AXA Mansard up 47%, Custodian up 145%, and Coronation up 83%, among others. Analysts are urging regulators and operators to adopt innovative policies to stabilize the sector and safeguard investor confidence. If this trend continues, insurers may struggle to meet obligations to policy holders unless cost controls and new risk management strategies are enforced. The United Nations has ranked Nigeria 8th on the African Industrialization Index and 98th globally, raising concerns over the country's industrial competitiveness. This was disclosed by economic expert Kelvin Emmanuel at a pre-summit dialogue in Abuja, themed Unlocking Industrial Growth Series, the evolving oil and gas ecosystem. Nigeria lags behind its African peers. Our manufacturing value per person is only $216 compared to $645 in South Africa and $524 in Egypt. We need stronger industrial policies to compete globally. Emmanuel blamed Nigeria's overdependence on crude oil exports, stressing that the Petroleum Industry Act must be fully implemented to boost local processing and industrial growth. Analysts say unless Nigeria shifts focus from raw materials to value-added production, the country risks falling further behind on global competitiveness. Nigeria is at a turning point, and we must stop seeing oil and gas as the only revenue source and start using it as a driver for wider industrial development, Emmanuel said. You're watching News Round. We'll go for another break. More news stories when we return. Welcome back. Now to some foreign news. Tensions are rising between Washington and New Delhi after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to double tariffs on Indian goods to 50%, blaming India's continued imports of Russian oil. The move risks undoing years of strategic cooperation between both nations in security and technology, largely aimed at countering China's global influence. This tariff threat has shaken trust. India and the U.S. has been working closely to balance China, but now that alignment is under serious strain. Observers say the unexpected U.S.-India rift has opened space for Beijing and New Delhi to ease their once hostile relations. The tow between Asia's two largest powers began last October and appears to be gaining momentum as Washington and New Delhi drift apart. For China, this is a strategic gift. A weaker U.S.-India partnership could accelerate Beijing's efforts to pull India closer. The Nigerian Immigration Service has deported 42 foreign nationals convicted of internet fraud. The first batch was deported on Sunday, while more will be airlifted to their countries on Monday and Tuesday. This deportation is part of efforts to rid Nigeria of criminal elements exploiting the country for cybercrime. The deportees were among hundreds arrested in December 2024 during an EFCC raid in Victoria Island, Lagos, where 792 suspects were apprehended for alleged cryptocurrency and romance scams. The syndicate included 114 Chinese nationals, 40 Filipinos, 2 Kazakhstans, 1 Pakistani, and 1 Indonesian, who were accused of training Nigerians in online fraud. The EFCC described the operation as the largest single-day arrest of internet fraudsters in the country. The scale of this syndicate shows how foreign and local networks collaborate, posing a major threat to Nigeria's digital economy. And on entertainment, 2 housemates, Otega and Kanyikomi, have been evicted from the ongoing Big Brother Naija Season 10 reality show. The eviction was announced on Sunday night's live show hosted by media personality Ebuka Obi Uchendo. The duo's departure follows that of Ibi Fubara and Damboskid, the first 2 housemates to leave the competition. It will be recalled that Sabrina left earlier in the week on medical grounds. Their exit adds to the growing suspense in the house as viewers continue to vote for their favorites. With this latest evictions, 22 contestants remain in the running for the 150 million naira grand prize. The stakes are getting higher, and every eviction night is a reminder that only one housemate will walk away with the grand prize. We'll go for yet another break. More news stories when we return.
In the glorious land of Warri Kingdom, history meets heritage and tradition embraces transformation. Join us in celebrating the 4th coronation anniversary of His Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, CFR, the Olu of Warri, from Monday 18th of August to Sunday 24th of August 2025. Day 1 kicks off with praise and worship at the Palace Church, Agofen, Warri by 12 noon. Day 2 features hospital commissioning at Ubangwe, Warri, 10 a.m. Ishekiri language competition for children at Agofen, Warri, 12 noon. Women's football match, 4 p.m. All-Stars football match at the Palace Field, 4:30 p.m. Day 3, a royal boat ride to Ode Ishekiri, 10 a.m. Homage paying at Big Warri Palace, 12 noon. His Majesty departs Big Warri, 3 p.m. Day 4, the anniversary celebration and homage paying at Agofen, Warri by 11 a.m. Day 5 brings book launch, 10:30 a.m. More homage paying at Agofen, 11:30 a.m. Drama presentations at Agofen Wari, 4:30 p.m. Day 6 features the Royal Order of Iwere Awards, 10 a.m. Special lecture at Agofen, 11 a.m. Youth activities, 12:30 p.m. Royal Choir performance, 5 p.m. Day 7, the celebration concludes with a heartfelt Thanksgiving service at 10 a.m. at the Palace Church, Agofen Wari. Join us as we honor 4 impactful years of visionary leadership. Brought to you by Uge Oyo Ekoro TV.
Welcome back from that break. Now to some sporting stories. As part of activities marking the 4th coronation anniversary of His Majesty Okiamia Tuwashi III CFR, excitement is building in Warri ahead of a star-studded novelty football match. The coronation novelty match, scheduled for Tuesday, 19th of August 2025, will feature Nigerian football legends including Kanu Nwankwo, Austin J.J. Okocha, Emmanuel Amunike, Yakubu Ayegbeni, George Finidi, Austin Eguavon, Ifeanyi Ekweme, and Victor Ikpeba himself. The Iwere All-Stars will be captained by Honorable Wayimi Agbata Yiniro, chairman of Warri South Local Government Area, while the Chevron All-Stars, led by engineer Tony Sifo, will parade ex-internationals like Taribo West, Julius Agawa, Gabal Lawal, and Peter Said Ida. This novelty match not only celebrates sportsmanship, but also highlights the talent and vitality of the Shekiri people. It reflects the Olu's passion for sports and healthy living. The match kicks off at 4:30 p.m., preceded by a female curtain raiser and cultural dance performances. This initiative continues the Olu's tradition of using sports to promote unity and wellness in the Warri Kingdom. Chelsea kicked off their Premier League season with a frustrating 0-0 draw against Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. Palace thought they had taken the lead when Eberichi Eze's thunderous free kick flew past Robert Sanchez, but VAR ruled it out after defender Mark Guehi was judged to have fouled Moses Caicedo in the Chelsea wall. Chelsea looked flat in attack despite their recent Club World Cup triumph, and Palace will feel unlucky not to have come away with more. New signing Estevao came closest to breaking the deadlock but missed a clear opportunity later on. Meanwhile, Cole Palmer and Joao Pedro, so impressive in the Club World Cup final, were quiet throughout. The draw leaves Chelsea with plenty to improve on as they seek their first Premier League title since 2017. Crystal Palace defended brilliantly, while Chelsea's lack of sharpness up front raises questions about their title credentials. Arsenal got their Premier League campaign off to a winning start with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Manchester United at Old Trafford on Sunday. The decisive moment came in the second half when Ricardo Calafiori punished a goalkeeping error by United's stand-in shot stopper Altay Bayinda to score the only goal of the game. United's new-look attack featuring Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo and Benjamin Sesko failed to make an impact despite showing flashes of promise on their debut. The win relieves some pressure on Arsenal, who are chasing their first Premier League title since the 2003-2004 Invincibles season, while United must regroup after another disappointing result at home. Manchester United showed energy, but the lack of a clinical edge up front remains a major concern for Ruben Amorim. And with that sports news, we come to the end of News Rounds for today right here on Atlantic TV. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nkechi Tejere. Good day.
Ara lorire, olorire afomasi, olurami o, ọba mi oge. Ara lorire, olorire afomasi.
Ara lorire, olorire ọfọmasi olúromi o, ọwẹ n'ogie.
Mommy Dama, Daddy Daba. This is how we greet in our place. It is a way of respect, a long-age tradition, carried through generations like sacred fire. Our coronation celebration is around the corner, so close, we can feel the drum beats in the wind, and there is no more time to keep checking time. So the sons and daughters of Iwere, both at home and in diaspora, comfort, put on the full regalia, adore yourself in pride, and walk in the step of our ancestors. Let us observe a longish culture together, so deep, so bright, that even whitest could not help but reverence. Enedidioka, Denik Barajo. Do not say we did not know, we did not hear, neither were we informed. Put aside the grieving, because no matter what, we are same. Same history, same tongues that cannot be taken away, except that door's path. Ishekiri and Kuro, our monarch awaits us. For God sought man to incarnate and to lead his people, and he found none but thee, the one who understands the assignment. To the extent the dexterity you deploy to administer the territory attracted principalities and powers, yet you warned by Isaiah 7:7. The traditional king that forfeit godly scriptures. Your ways are not the ways of man, even as you exist as man. The one who takes giant steps in David's raiment. You are the clear proof we had first-hand connection with civilization. Daddy with maximum steez and composure. We do not need to pat your back and scoop your tummy before you do us good. Because truly you have now made goodness our inheritance. And everybody give thanks. You may have been ignored, left alone to tend the flocks, but I tell you truth, it was God's strategy for you to cater for his flocks. Oh, how did we not know at first that a change will seek and desire, lurks around us like a friend that sticks closer than a brother. He who resonates history before our face, giving us the hope of a prosperous phase. It is time. 4 years crowned in glory, 4 years seed in destiny. Ogiame, King of the waters. It is your 4th-year coronation anniversary, and everybody is Ogboru.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh baby.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Ninyola.
My name is my wife Naija Celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different. When the lights go out, Who do you call? Tikado! Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Tikado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Tikado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at tikado.com.ng. Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh Baby.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, Niger Celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Ọ̀fọ̀ máa sí olúromi o, ọ̀wẹ́ náà ògì.
Mommy Dama, Daddy Daba. This is how we greet in our place. It is a way of respect, a long age tradition, carried through generations like sacred fire. Our coronation celebration is around the corner, so close. We can feel the drum beats in the wind, and there is no more time to keep checking time. So the sons and daughters of Iwere, both at home and in diaspora, comfort, put on the full regalia, adore yourself in pride, and walk in the step of our ancestors. Let us observe a longish culture together, so deep, so bright, that even whitest could not help but reverence. And I did the oka. Then Barajo, do not say we did not know, we did not hear, neither were we informed. Put aside the grieving, because no matter what, we are same history, same tongues that cannot be taken away, except that towards path. Ishekiri and Kuro, our monarch awaits us.
No, 11 something. 11:06. I never get sound. Tell us I never get sound. I don't have them. Again, I don't know that for sure. Because number one, they go ask question. They go ask me the question. They go ask me the question live. Yeah. Okay. Is it up now? But the air won't now. This one, nobody they talk sure. Okay, but it is. If I can hear that, me I'll let you know. Only you wish you have the lens or spoil. The thing na half shot, Abi. Eh? The thing na half shot, Abi.
Okay, what's on now? Just carry on. Okay, hold on.
I never hear anything. That's one. As it seems, I never hear any voice. Maybe somebody say something, man. No.
Tell them something. Let me know.
Tell them somebody say something, man. No.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
I just hear one, but I never hear one. Let me see. They play the anthem, and I hear myself now too.
For God sought man to incarnate, and to lead his people. And he found nobody, the one who understands the assignment. To the extent the dexterity you deploy to administer the territory attracted principalities and powers, yet you warned by Isaiah 7:7. The traditional king that forfeit godly scriptures. Your ways are not the ways of man, even as you exist as man. The one who takes giant steps in David's raiment. You are the clear proof we had first-hand connection with civilization. Daddy with maximum steez and composure. We do not need to pat your back and scoop your tummy before you do us good. Because truly you have now made goodness our inheritance. And everybody give thanks. You may have been ignored, left alone to tend the flocks. But I tell you truth, it was God's strategy for you to cater for his flocks. Oh, how did we not know at first that a change will seek and desire lurks around us like a friend that sticks closer than a brother. He who resonates history before our face, giving us the hope of a prosperous phase. It is time. 4 years crowned in glory, 4 years seed in destiny. Ogiame, King of the waters. It is your 4th-year coronation anniversary, and everybody is Ogboru.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
The internet has been buzzing lately with different stories, and I am here to give you as hot as they come. If you're just joining, welcome to Trendy on Viewpoint. I am Mercy Irabo, and I'm not alone here. I've got with me Michael, and together we are going to be sharing all the trending gist on the internet and also giving our 2 cents on this issue. So today, let's start with the biggest story making rounds on the internet, and that involves Ibom Air and Miss Comfort Emerson. So here's a quick breakdown. On the 10th of August 2025, Miss Comfort boarded a flight, which is Ibom Air, and then she had an issue which later escalated. And I feel this issue could be resolved, but it got out of hand and it was escalated. And we saw viral videos of this lady partly uncovered, which was alleged that the hostess tore her dress. So it was that terrible. And later on, we heard that she was arrested and then charged to court. As if that was not enough, she was reprimanded in Kirikiri for lack of shorties. And later on, interestingly, Nigerians took interest in this whole issue. And then she was released, and all charges were withdrawn. So that was what happened concerning this girl. And later on, we heard that she was suing Ibom Air and all of that, though she came out to say no, she's not the one suing. So, Mr. Michael, what's your take on this whole issue?
It's quite sad that we had to get where we are now.
Yeah.
And when the news broke, it was more like a viral video going on air and a whole lot of indecent exposure. You make me say that.
Of course.
But if we really look at the issues on my own ground, I felt both Ibom Air and also Miss Comfort Emerson were both wrong on every ground. Looking at how really it transpired and how they made it degenerate into this issue of sue and counter sues and all of that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's more like a lesson for all of us to learn. You know, sometimes if you're being told to do the right thing, it's always interesting and right to do it on time. On the Mayan, she has come out to give us our own side of the story, insisting that she was in the process of actually putting out the phone when she was insulted by the air hostess right there on Ibok Air, and that degenerated into unnecessary names that we can't call on air being said between both of them. But at the end, also, I feel the way the Ibon Air handled the whole issue was really unjust. It was quite
unprofessional.
Yes, unprofessional on their account, and that's why we are where we are. But talking about suing, I feel it's only right that both parties try to understand how they both made mistakes rather than breaking up the issue of sue. Because if you could still remember, immediately that happened, the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, came out to say, well, when she was arrested and also taken to the Kirikiri Correctional Facility, with a whole lot of pressure coming out from Nigerians demanding that they do the right thing, she was released. And on that good faith of being released and all charges dropped, I felt that she should also have keyed into that rather than making a lawyer come out to say he's going to sue on her behalf. And a lawyer, a well-known lawyer in Lagos, Diwali Ayodele, yes, he's the one that is definitely suing, and he feels the Nigerian government is being a bit biased because the way they handled, K1's own was quite different from Ms. Comfort Emerson. But irrespective, I feel we just need to understand that, well, the errors have been made. Both parties were wrong in how they handled it, and let's just get the lesson from there and move on.
Well, I don't really think it's... I feel she should sue. I don't know why she's saying she's yet to decide if she wants to sue or not. But I feel she should sue. Like this girl, she would live with this trauma for life, knowing the fact that your videos are there and she's not married. Imagine she wants to get married and the guy is saying, we actually saw your parts, your naked parts online.
Would that stop the videos from circulating?
It won't, but at least it will help her to some extent. I feel it will help her to some extent because that's a whole lot on her. I watched when she was talking. She said she narrated her own part of the story, and she said she went through serious pain because she said on the video we never saw her with any hair on, and she said she installed a frontal wig. And frontal installation, imagine dragging off frontal from the pain. And she said she was putting on, that top she was putting on was actually a pin down and was dragged down. Up to now, she said she's still undergoing treatment. So I feel she has every right to sue if she wants to. Because having those pains on you and yet you were reprimanded in Kirikiri, not like you were in a hospital taking good care of yourself. So I feel she has every right to sue if she wants to, but thank God that this public interest lawyer took an interest in her case. So that's fine.
Sound, but just like, you know, we're always right to give our own views, especially, you know, his Viewpoint right here on Atlantic. And well, it's still a trending story that many feel, well, just like what Mercy feels, she feels she should sue. But on an account of that, I feel even the reason why she needs to sue, apart from just dealing with the problem, is to make everybody sit up. If you feel you've erred in any way, it's always right to come out, apologize, and that's what we hardly get in Nigeria. Government officials, companies, all of that taking full responsibility of their negligence. It will be right, because in more developed climes, people take full responsibility of their actions or inactions. And then when they do so, it makes them not repeat it in any time in the future. But that seems not to be the case in Nigeria. But if we can have her sue and indeed address all of that and make people sit up to their responsibility, that would be nice. But for me, I feel, why not let the sleeping dogs lie? Both have really erred in every way. Both seem to have made mistakes in every way. So why not, the more you drag it, the more emotional trauma will come to her. And I feel the earlier the better. She let this be put to a rest, the better for her. And so she can move on with her life rather than having the wounds being always made open on account of sue. Because when it comes to she now suing, you do know a whole lot kind of wounds will be opened. Every social media will still want to flash what she wants to forget. And honestly, the earlier the better for her, emotionally.
I don't know, but I just don't want to believe that this whole issue is a personal issue because, you know, women, we have our things. We don't know. Because this girl said she, after the whole thing, she felt like she even took the whole thing from her heart. And she saw this lady blocking the way. She could not go out.
Yeah, yeah.
So she was telling her,
yeah,
she told her she needs to go out, and she had to start recording that. I don't know what's wrong. This lady is holding me hostage here and all of that. So when the lady found out that she was recording, she had to drag the phone, and that was how the whole thing started. So when you ask somebody to turn off their phone, and she said she can't because but her phone has issue, and you tried explaining how to do that, and she said, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do this. Can you please help me? You said, no, I cannot touch your phone. Children of nowadays, so you don't know how to spell general. Go to general on your settings and all of that. So I just don't hope it's a personal issue, because this thing is something that you, as Elsters, I feel it's not bad if you pick up her phone, help her if you really want to.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand? So I hope it's not a personal issue, and I really feel she needs justice. So if possible, that's Elsters. I hope they are doing the right thing. Ibom Air, you need to do the right thing concerning your crew members. So in as much as I would love us to continue on this story,
a quick one before we continue.
Okay.
I would also want to use this opportunity to also address the authorities of most of these airlines in Nigeria. We're talking about indigenous airlines. It's always good to have training and retraining of your personnel. So issues like this do not arise again. We're having lack of training of these persons, and that's why we're really running into many of such embarrassing issues and also complaints coming out from different sectors. So a training of that persons will also help to deal with the issues, because let's face the fact. If we keep having such unnecessary interactions happening, many people will lose faith in our aviation industry. Many people will lose faith in flying. Many people will feel that it's only quacks, and I mean true quacks, that seem to be handling all of this sector. And you do understand that the aviation sector is a very critical one in our transport sector. It's one of the most that seems to generate one of the highest funds as it concerns our transportation sector. So more needs to be done, especially as it concerns training and retraining of their personnel. So we do not come up with such embarrassing moments. That's always on the front burner, and many other countries will just be looking at us and feeling we're not there yet. But anyway, we'll see here with or trending, and Messi is taking the lead on it.
All right, so let's go to our second story. And yes, for our second story, this is Fina versus Dangote. All right, so Fina, we've always known Fina to be outspoken, to be loud. She doesn't hold anything back. But this time around, it seems Nigerians supported her. Everybody supported her on this. And what happened? She called out businessman Aliko Dangote, saying her sister was involved in a tragic incident with one of Dangote's stroke. And then this happened just 6 days after the girl's graduation. That's so very sad. And then one of her legs at that point was amputated, and the other was still really bad. So she calls out Dangote, saying she needs compensation and all of that. And Dangote later on released circular saying she would be duly compensated. But the truth is, I don't really think that there is any form of compensation that is really worth it. Like, this girl's life is never going to remain the same. Like, she might be, in fact, she's crippled for life. I don't think her life will ever remain the same. What is the money? Like, what amount of money are they going to give her that will really worth it?
Yeah, it's really a sad tale. Especially when I got wind of this very story, I really felt it deeply, because also I've lost a friend some couple of years back that was involved in such accident, and a truck, hit-and-run truck, crushed him and the vehicle and just ran away. It's always a sad tale in the mouth when you see things like this, especially coming from a promising young girl like that of her sister. And, well, just 6 days after her graduation, and you've now put in the girl in this sad situation, and this brings to bear the issue of training and retraining. We're talking about persons that need not to handle these vehicles handling it. It is sad when you see most of these drivers of heavy-duty vehicles apply the road as if other road users are not important and should not be part of the road. They speed on, they run on very high speed. They drive recklessly, and all of that endangers the life of many Nigerians. When are we going to have less of such accidents on account of misgivings, actions or inactions of people that should take the helms of affairs as it concerns it? It's really sad. and one that is really annoying. But you remember, we also informed you that we'll be going live as we enjoy that is happening right there at the Olu of Warriors Palace. And like I told you in our initial half of the starting of Viewpoint, I will be having a correspondent right there. And it seems like he's right there ready to also have us. But anyway, let's see if as much as we get him there, we'll be going right there to meet him to really give us a breakdown of what the feel of things is there at the moment. And one I know you'll love to remain with us, so you enjoy. Celebration is in there.
Yes, celebration.
The first maiden edition of Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. And also we told you the 4th coronation anniversary of our great king, as he
His
also
Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, CFR. Congratulations to the Olu of Warri on a 4th coronation anniversary.
Yeah.
So back to our story on the Dangote's issue. So I think this Dangote, they really need to do better, because when you check the driver on that trailer, that driver is a very young boy.
Yeah.
And most of the times, I feel these guys do drugs and all of that. When they're on that steering, you see speed that they take. And you'll be wondering, this is trailer, not a car. Yeah. How can you move a trailer this way? And that brings us to yesterday. We had a story. So we found out that the same Dangote crashed on Auchi Road and killed about 3 persons. 3 persons. That's very, very, very sad. So the lead pastor of Omega Fire Ministries, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, even reacted to this, saying it is getting too much. You can see his comment saying, "You are not the only rich man on earth. You're reckless in managing your business, has caused harm to families, made parents childless. Your truck just killed 3 persons few minutes ago in Auchi. You give trucks to little boys," exactly what I was saying, little boys who are high on drugs and untrained. This won't go unchallenged. Like, I feel this is getting too much.
One too many.
This is getting too much, and this is something that the government really needs to look into. It's getting out of hand. Like we're just talking about one, and less than how many days we're getting the same thing of 3 persons being killed because of this same Dangote truck. Dangote, please, I don't know what you need to do. If you need to reform your whole thing, train your drivers, and I even found out that the driver on that day doesn't even have a driving license.
Sad.
Imagine somebody without...
It brings it to, it brings us to ask this very important question. How many of them do have driving license? How many of them went to driving school and know the rudiments of being on applying those rules? We're not talking of just the bad nature of our roads. We're talking of even persons recklessly riding on bad roads. That's the question. It's really sad that we keep losing life. Like, just like what she said, 3 young men died yesterday when we had that accident in Auchi. 3 of them were riding a GLK, and all 3 lost their lives on account of that very accident. It's sad. We can't be losing lives of young, viable Nigerians every day on account of reckless driving of these persons. Just like what you said, it's a personal business. He's the richest man in Africa, and I know he can afford to have training and retraining of these drivers.
He can afford it.
He can also afford to get reasonable persons handling multi-million. You do know that a truck runs into hundreds of millions. And having young people drive such expensive truck is something that you really ask yourself, is it the right thing to do? Knowing that this investment covers the length and breadth of this country, they ply our roads every day, running from the north to the south, from the east to the west. Should he not? Because some couple of years back, I used to know that even when he had an application for persons that would apply, or rather drive his vehicles, it rose up to even having BSc holders. But now that seems not to be the case. He's now having young men that, just like what Apostle Suleiman said, that seems to be high on drugs. And not only that one, they are really untrained. And there seems to be a target, because I'm beginning to have that feeling. Is it that there is a target on these young boys to meet? That's why they drive so fast and reckless. Just like Fast and the Furious. Sometimes some of those things you see in that very movie seems to be happening on our roads. The way they ride carelessly, you ask yourself, are we really, or rather, are they really sane to be on our roads. It's a sad one.
Very sad. I think the federal government of Nigeria needs to put measures. They need to look into this because many persons have really lost their lives. And these are only the few ones we're talking about. We've heard a whole lot. Like, even this year alone, a lot has happened with Dangote trailers. So I feel they really need to put measures in place. In as much as we would love to keep going on this trending, but we need to go to the palace to see what's happening. So this is where we'll have to draw the curtain today on trending. So, you know you can engage with us, right? You can engage with us. Do well to follow all our social media platforms at Atlantic Media and TV. Drop your comments and we'll see them. So, see you the same time tomorrow. I am Mercy Erabo. Bye for now.
Well, anyway, just like what she said, I would really love to get reactions from you guys as it concerns all you've heard today on Viewpoint. You do know we're going to continue tomorrow. We've started the maiden edition. It is. We've started already, and we'll love to get those reactions from you as they come. Let's get to hear from you. What do you feel we need to do to add more spice as we try to make your morning always enjoyable? Listening, or rather watching us right here on Atlantic TV, Viewpoint it is. Let's get your reaction as it comes, and I will be more than happy to also oblige you to do the needful. But I will still remind you that we're still having a quick one, and right there in the palace. So we'll be joining our correspondent there. When he's ready, we'll come on and bring him on board so he'll give us a feel of what seems to be happening right there as our great king celebrates the 4th coronation anniversary, one that we are excited right here at Atlantic TV to be a part of. Anyway, just like what you said, I will definitely see you tomorrow, or we'll come back and also have an in-house overview of what's happening there. But all the same, I remain Michael Gobadia. God bless you. We'll see you later. Bye for now.
In the glorious land of Warri Kingdom, history meets heritage and tradition embraces transformation. Join us in celebrating the 4th coronation anniversary of His Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, CFR, the Olu of Warri, from Monday 18th of August to Sunday 24th of August 2025. Day 1 kicks off with praise and worship at the Palace Church, Agofen, Warri by 12 noon. Day 2 features hospital commissioning at Ubangwe, Warri, 10 a.m. Ishekiri language competition for children at Agofen, Warri, 12 noon. Women's football match, 4 p.m. All-Stars football match at the Palace Field, 4:30 p.m. Day 3, a royal boat ride to Ode Ishekiri, 10 a.m. Homage paying at Big Warri Palace, 12 noon. His Majesty departs Big Warri, 3 p.m. Day 4, the anniversary celebration and homage paying at Agofen, Warri by 11 a.m. Day 5 brings book launch, 10:30 a.m. More homage paying at Agofen, 11:30 a.m. Drama presentations at Agofen, Warri, 4:30 p.m. Day 6 features the Royal Order of Iwere Awards, 10 a.m. Special lecture at Agofen, 11 a.m. Youth activities, 12:30 p.m. Royal Choir performance, 5 p.m. Day 7, the celebration concludes with a heartfelt Thanksgiving service at 10 a.m. at the Palace Church, Agofen, Warri. Join us as we honor 4 impactful years of visionary leadership. Brought to you by Uge Oyo Ekoro TV.
Ara lóríire, olóríire àfọ̀másí, olúrọ̀mí o, ọba mi òkè. Ara lóríire, olóríire àfọ̀másí, olúrọ̀mí o, ọba mi òkè. Ìràwọ̀ bàbá mi jẹ́ orí bẹ́ẹ̀jì wẹ̀rẹ̀, ìràwọ̀ èsì gbà mí jẹ́ orí wàràwòrò.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, Naija Celebrity Type Man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Tell them say nothing they play. Those guys need to get their ass back. Eh? I know the hear them.
Well, we told you initially that we'll definitely be going live to the Oluofole Palace to also get our correspondent who is right there. That will give us an up-to-date to know what really is happening. And you do know this is a very special edition. And we're trying to see if we'll definitely get to him so he can give us update on what's happening right there. And like I said, our correspondent, no other person but Josie Zeremobi is there. He'll be giving us an update of what's really happening. Hello, Mr. Josie, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Michael.
Hello? Okay, we're getting live field, but we can barely hear him. But we know he's right there. So give us a rundown of what seems to really
Michael,
be happening
I can hear you.
there. How is the excitement there? How are people really warming up for this very great celebration? Let's get your feel on what really is happening right there at the moment, right there at the palace. Hello? Mr. Josie? Okay, we're still having issues with the connection. Definitely, I know he can see us, but I doubt if he can really hear us as we try to really ask him. Let's really get a feel of the excitement in the air. The celebration is what we're having right here on Atlantic TV. So let's see if when we get that sorted out, we'll definitely get to bring him on board. So he gives us a rundown on what's transpiring right there. But like we told you, it's more of a celebration. Messi, like we said, it's an extended edition of what we're having on the program today.
Yeah.
Yes, the 4th coronation anniversary of His Majesty. Yes. Let's look at it. Now, there are so many unique things about His Majesty. And many people will say, well, he's not just only close to his people, but also seem to have an edge when it comes to innovation and when it comes to him actually understanding the people. Many other royal majesties envy his style, especially as it concerns that very unique bond between him and his people. And I want us to really understand all of that as we wait to get, okay, it looks as if we've gotten that connection already. And let's see if we'll bring Mr. Josie in. Josie, Mr. Josie.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Michael, I can hear you. Yeah, it's loud and clear.
Okay, I guess you can hear me. So let's get a feel of what's happening there. I see excitement in the air. What's really happening? Let's get you tell us what's happening there at the moment. Because we know today is day 1 of
a whole lot that is
the week-long activity,
which is praise and
culminating
worship
into the 4th coronation anniversary of His Royal Majesty.
All right. Michael, there's a whole lot that is happening here at the palace. I can tell you for free that the palace is wearing an extra beautiful look. If you're a visitor to you always admit that the Olu of Warri Palace is always looking beautiful, but it's now wearing an extra beautiful look. And we are currently at the red carpet, just in front of the church that will mark the day 1 of activities. Now, this is the front of the church. You have lots of people who are coming in already, and it's a controlled space pretty much, a very much controlled space. We have lots of dignitaries that are coming in, and lots of people actually want to get into the palace at this point in time, especially the church auditorium, where the space is being to ensure orderliness. So that you look at the entire palace, it's wearing a different look. Tomorrow is going to be a very, very huge day here in the palace. I don't know if our camera is just going to pan a little bit and show you what's happened. We have a standard plain surface in the palace already. Tomorrow, Osiejo Okocha, the likes of Finidi George, and the rest of other ex-internationals from 1994 will be playing right here inside the palace of the Olu of Warri. And we have a lot of people who have come in, very obviously excited. They are very, very happy, for this coronation. If you look at the king, within the 4 years that he's, been on the throne, he's literally the impact of life. Lots of people are very excited with the positive developments, that have come through. Michael, the door leading into the church, you can see lots of people beautifully dressed who are all trying to get to the palace auditorium right now. In a very short while, to access the same space. It's a very, very tight walk. I can tell you for free that it's been done to us, ensuring that the space is well managed.
Okay, Mr. Josie, a quick one, because I really envy you. And when I say I envy you, I wish I was a part of what's happening there. I can see how really beautiful everything is. But yes, let's really get a rundown of activities. Yes, you said tomorrow there will be a very, more like a novelty match.
For tomorrow?
Yes.
Today, for one, is for the opening session. Involves a praise and worship. Then tomorrow, His Majesty Ogiame Atoashe III will be going to commission a project, And then there's also a children competition that is also here, that will be taking place here in Agrofair, the Palace. And of course, after that, there's going to be 2 novelty matches, one for the female and one for the male. The one for the female is going to be starting earlier than that of the male. It's going to run for at least, because it's going to start by 2 in the afternoon. But of course, that for the legends, the likes of Austin Jejo, Coach Kanu Wanko, and a host of other top stars will be taking place exactly by 4:30 p.m. Then, of course, on Wednesday, we have activities of the Shekiri. That's the ancestral home of the Iwere people. It's definitely going to be a huge time. Then, of course, we'll have other activities like and that will also be taking place within this week. Thursday, homage. There's a whole lot of activities lined up this week. And for most of I can tell you for free that we have a tourists who have come from different parts of the world to witness this very, very grand occasion that lots of tourists who have already flocked into the Warri Kingdom. It's been a very, very interesting in the last couple of years, watching a number of people trooping into the city.
Okay, Mr. Josie, I know you've had interaction. Hello, Mr. Josie, can you hear me?
Right here with us, we have a clergy woman who was to be part of the praise and worship session. Thank you so much for joining us live on Atlantic TV. Can you part of this coronation anniversary?
Yes, I'm very excited, and I want to thank God for preserving us, the Shekiri Warri Kingdom. I want to thank God that I have the privilege to praise God. Have the privilege to God. Any day we have the privilege to praise God. And our King so love God. So he gathered us today to give praise. To start the coronation with praising is a very welcome thing. So I want to thank God, and I want to also thank our King, Atubashe III, the Olu of Warri, the Ogiame of Warri. Say kudos to him.
Thank you so much. Also, we have other individuals who have come here to be part of the praise and worship session. Thank you so much. You are looking beautifully dressed and looking happy, excited.
I'm very, very.
For you, as a son of the Warri Kingdom, how proud are you of that?
I'm very, very proud to be part and parcel of Warri Kingdom. Proud to be Son Majesty Olu Atuase III, CFRO, the Olu of Warri. And we are happy that we're starting this gracious praise note. We are here to return the praise and glory to Jehovah God. A king that knows God is a plus to that kingdom. And we'll start an event as this, i.e. the coronation anniversary celebration, the 4th one specifically, and we're starting on the note of giving God thanks, returning to Jehovah God who has made it possible, at least in the last 1 year, sustaining the kingdom, sustaining His Majesty, giving us reason to come together as a family to say, thank you, Father, for all that you have done for us. I'm extremely grateful on behalf of His Majesty, so to say. We are, as he said, truly happy. In fact, would lack words to express it. Yes.
Thank you so much. I mean, definitely, you can see the excitement. You can see how much of joy, he's expressed. We also have another proud Ishek son, who is also here to be part of the 7 days of celebration. Thank you for joining us here on Ogeyokoro TV and Atlantic TV. You definitely will be very, very proud of this moment as an Shekiri son.
Yes, we're happy for this day. Celebrating the 4th year of annum of our monarch, the Tuashe the third. So we're very happy for bringing it to pass. A pleasure. And our king forever, as God's hand will be upon him, so shall it be. You're all welcome. God bless you all.
I want to ask you, which of the days are you particularly looking for?
All the days are very important. All the days of the celebration and all the days of the life of our king and the Shekiri nation is all very important. We pray for long life for our king and for the Shekiri nation. And the hand of God will be upon us. More favor. After the celebration, we pray that the heaven will open. Showers of blessing upon Shekiri land. Well, thank you for coming also. God bless you.
All right. Indeed, you can tell that the excitement is very, very palpable, the one that can be felt across board. Now, we also have another participant who's come all the way to be part of this celebration. Please introduce yourself to us.
My name is Sonny Orishegbubemi Okupu. I am the president of Ishekiri Congress, ICUK, United Kingdom. It's the umbrella body for all the Ishekiri meetings in the United Kingdom and for all Ishekiris in United Kingdom.
You do know you're on Atlantic TV Live, and members across the UK can also watch right now, so they are definitely seeing you. So I would like you to greet in the UK who are unable to make it to Warri here. Tell them what you already see on ground and how excited you are.
Well, first of all, what's your name?
That's Atlantic Media and TV.
Yeah, what name?
My name is Joseph.
Okay, Joseph.
Yeah.
Joseph, thank you very much. And Atlantic TV, thank you very much for this opportunity. Matrons and patrons of meetings to we UK, matrons and patrons of Warri Progressive Society Alliance, matrons and patrons of Warri Ladies Vanguard, London branch, Warri National Union, matrons and patrons, Shekiri Cultural Heritage, and of course, Bajo Shekiri United Kingdom, and all the individual social members of ICUK. Mokian and the Fene, Mowali Palace Nubowe, I represent ICUK, ni Nubowe. So, we shut around me, Mowabashim, Mogi Seva. So, and we Atlantic TV, but I can't. I get them can't and them see Kianga. Mo can't the fene mo boom. Shakiri de back Kianga and do and Benedict do some Beme.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Do appreciate, and the fact that you have a command of the language, it's a huge. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. People in the UK, kudos to you all. Your good job sent us here, and we'll keep preparing. ICUK.
All right. So if you just look behind me, you have lots of people, more and more people are arriving for this event. And we will do our best to bring up the speed and, of course, stream this event all through. This event will be broadcasting this event for the entire 7 days. Atlantic TV, which is, of course, on satellite and, of course, on Avo TV. The application, of course, online on YouTube as well as Facebook will be streaming every single day of this event. Definitely, I have to enjoy everything right here from the palace.
Well, anyway, Mr. Joseph, before I let you go, I could still understand during your interview, we've seen a variety of people. We're not talking of just the influential, the commoners are also there. And we've also seen young men, women, and funny enough, children that are all gathered there to also participate in this celebration. So my question is, how really united are the people in coming together to be a part of this great celebration? Because we know you've had interactions, apart from the one you've interviewed, you've had interactions with almost everybody there. So let's get a feel, or rather, let's get the understanding of how really united the people are in their quest to celebrate the 4th coronation of His Royal Majesty. Hello, Mr. Josie. I hope you got my question. Okay, let's see if we get him back because we don't want this to end anytime soon. The excitement is already here. And oh, how we envy Josie in having that lovely interviews and also the feel right there at the palace. But let's see if we bring him back because we still have him to ask a lot as it concerns what is happening right there at the Olu of Warri Palace. And we're talking about the 4th coronation anniversary of His Royal Majesty Ogiame and Atuase the third CFR, sorry, having that celebration. But let's see how we'll bring him back, and when we do, we'll need to really ask him more But just like what he said, it's going to be a week-long event, and most certainly we'll be giving you a day-to-day breakdown of what will be happening. Remember, like he also said, tomorrow we're having a novelty match. Old Super Eagle players coming to also show their respect in this great celebration. And I know you will not want to leave here because you need to be with us, and we'll be live right there when that kickstarts. And indeed, we'll be giving you up-to-date understanding of what's happening there. Mercy is still the tune of celebration right here in Delta State. And just like what we heard, money persons are flying all the way from other countries around, coming to be a part of this celebration.
Mm-hmm. So today is praise and worship. And before we got Josie, you were talking about what I really love about the Olu of Warri.
Yes.
One thing I know I love about this man is the fact that he loves God.
Okay.
Have you seen His Majesty quoting Bible verses? You would be shocked. So today being praise and worship, I'm not surprised that he was able to pull that crowd because when the head loves God, what do you expect?
And when the head really loves God, he starts with God. And that's why he's also having this to kickstart the week-long activity. And starting in the church is the best way to go. And that's how it is. But we're not going anywhere because we're still right here on this exciting edition of Atlantic TV program, a week-long program in commemoration or understanding of the 4th coronation anniversary of the Olu of Warri. Let's see if we will still bring Josie back, because we know he'll be having a whole lot of interviews with not just dignitaries, but ordinary people. Well, Josie, I guess you can hear us now.
Yeah, we can hear you, Michael.
Yes, good. I was asking, I said I saw a whole lot of people there. We're talking about the rich, the ordinary Ishekiri people. We're talking about the young, the old. Everybody is there. We can even see children all gathered to celebrate this very great king. And I know you've had interactions with all of these persons from every side of the sector. Let's try on to understand, what is that uniting or united bond that keeps all of them together to want to come to celebrate with the great king?
Michael, one of the things that or one of the uniting factor for the entire Iwara nation is the throne. It is very significant. You know, the fact that throne is the centerpiece and they respect the throne, irrespective of their personal concerns or personal issues. You know, as it is across the globe, people will have their different interests. But the ability to respect that which is holding them together and to hold that sacred and to sacrosanct is key. And the throne is what? And you look at the king himself, he has come in and he brought everybody together, from the youths to the women to the children to the adults. It cuts across. You know, we can go on and on and on and mention about what he has done to improve the lives of his people, from pushing through for some medical centers, as well as boosting education. I'm sure you do know of the scholarship program that is on for students from Warri Kingdom, and that is coming courtesy of His Majesty. There are lots of other initiatives that His Majesty has initiated. So I can tell you for free that the uniting factor right now is the throne and His Majesty. You know, and then one of the things you also love about the Ishekiri people is their deep respect for their culture.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure you look around, you see a lot of them, you know, already putting on their kemejes, and then the ladies, they are never, whether young or old, you know, when it comes to putting on their traditional attire, they wear it with pride, they wear it with smile, and it is something that you know, that are people together. We all know the popular saying that the culture is the way of life of the people, is literally the spinal cord of the people. So another uniting factor for the people of this great kingdom is their culture, and the fact that they hold it with a huge respect. Something that one has to commend.
Okay, now, Josie, I'm also really curious to ask. Now, he starts the whole week-long activity, and he's starting in the church. No, so let's understand his love.
We have with us.
Oh,
we have with us the member representing Warri South Constituency 2, Honorable Constituency 1. I beg your pardon, Honorable Augustine Oroye. He just arrived, looking all gay and beautiful with his wonderful kemeje. To join us here on Atlantic TV.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, how excited are you being part of this coronation activity?
It's part of it and it's quite encouraging and so a very important way to promote our culture and who we are.
So of the 7 days, which of the days are you particularly looking forward to?
Particularly looking forward to all the days because all the days are quite important and all the activities are quite important to showcase here. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable the House of Assembly member, representing South Constituency 1 at the Delta State Assembly. You see him just making his way into the hall. A lot of dignitaries are already arriving for this event, and I can tell you that the hall is already filled, but it's a controlled space, and that is the exciting thing about it. So there are lots of other dignitaries who are going to be coming through, and we'll be here up to speak with all of that live. But you noted in Augustino's comment, and like the other individuals spoke to, looking forward to all of the days. You asked me earlier what I think is uniting factor. It is the fact that they hold their culture and they're looking forward to all of the days. Nobody's just speaking one day. No, for them, it's all of the days.
Okay, now, Josie, back to my question. I was asking, we're starting with church activities. So let's really understand how really committed and also dedicated is the Olu of Warri in his Christian faith. Because the week-long activity, he's starting everything right there in the church. So let's understand how really deep religious, especially as it concerns the Christian faith, is the Olu of Warri, and how he holds God dear in everything he does.
Michael, I'll just respond to that question and make reference to a social media video that is making the rounds, of a pastor, who is talking about his experience with Ogiame Atoashe III. The king was in for a program. And he was, according to what the pastor said in the video, the pastor was asking the king to come. Like, if I come, I'm going to take a lot of attention away from people. He's an VIP, that already. He's His Majesty.
Yes.
But the pastor insisted, asking the king to come, that he would be very happy to host him. According to what the pastor said in the video, by the time the king finally came, he just came in a small car.
Wow.
With no noise. It was very, very hard to even dictate that it was him. He came in, sat down, and worshipped God with all his heart, without drawing attention. It's somebody who really loves God. That's instance. Yeah. He wanted to come to church, but he was cautious of the fact that he doesn't want to take attention away from the service to God. But when he really, really had the person, he had to trip all of those usual tension that comes with
protocol.
The throne he occupies, and came in a very small car to be part of that service. The fact that he is starting day one of his 4th anniversary coronation with praise and worship. And if you look at the program, towards the end, it's still Thanksgiving. It just tells you how much of a Christian he is and how much committed the king is to God. He holds God very, very highly. He has asked his people to come today to start this coronation anniversary with praise and worship to the Most High God. I don't think there's any other way for one to tell the world where his allegiance stands.
Well, that's nice to know. A quick one. I really want to understand the security architecture, especially of the venue. knowing that we're having a whole lot of dignitaries. How really secure is the venue? And are people so relaxed, so happy, knowing that they are there, not just to celebrate, but also to have a feel of what the Royal Majesty portrays? So let's really understand.
While we had a bit of glitches there, but I was able to understand, as per the security and orderliness,
yes.
Look at this door here.
Okay.
You know, moments ago, we had lots of people standing in front of this door.
Yes.
But right now, I'm sure you notice it's cleared out. That tells you that the organizers took into account all of these factors. Everything is well arranged. The level of orderliness in the palace is outstanding and very, very commendable. And you talk about security in and outside the palace, there is enough security. In terms of individuals to control the crowd, we have enough. I can tell you we have the DSS, we have the SSS and other top security right here at the palace. You know, look, like I told you earlier, you have more people trying to make their way into the palace, and the fact that everything is well controlled, it pretty much just says everything about the level of arrangement for this coronation anniversary.
Well, Mr. Jose, I need to thank you so much for standing point there and giving us all that seems to be happening right there at the Ofuole Palace. As that very great celebration kickstarts today, and just like what you said initially, we'll be having more as it comes, and that's what we'll definitely do. But what we do now is we need to go, a quick bye-bye, but be rest assured, as more of the activities happen every day, we'll be live right here to give you an update, and also a grand assessment of what is transpiring right there at the Oluwafole Palace as the week-long celebration continues right here on Atlantic TV. But we need to go. Mercy.
Yeah, please don't go anywhere because we are having the praise and worship. So let's quickly go into the praise and worship. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned on Atlantic Media and TV. Bye for now. I thought you were